All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know we're a little late, but we're almost always late. But even though we're making you wait, we're going to make it worth your while here on the Lights Out Sports Podcast. Today, we will look at week 0 games in college football and announce when our Lights Out college preview will be. We'll talk Brewers, Luis Arraez, the Bills, NFL teams who are spending the most on their quarterback rooms. The third person who should be in the National League MVP discussion, we'll talk Lane Kiffin, unwritten baseball rules, strength of schedule, Dante Moore, Corbin Carroll, Aroldis Chapman, and this is just part of the NFL talk. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is Cheese to tell you more about what we're going to talk about in the National Football League. Cheese, what do you got?
Well, I mean, we're going to talk a lot of Vikings today.
Yes,
talk some Kyler Murray. But we're going to talk also about the Browns and a strange decision to name Deshaun Watson their starting quarterback. Also talk about another player who, let's just say this, he was released by the Browns so he could go back to college. So we're going to discuss the ramifications of that because there's quite a bit.
So you're telling me people would rather play college football than play NFL for the Browns?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just so we're clear. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do history. We're going to do stat of the show. We're going to play trivia, and we're going to do so much more. But of course, first, before we do anything else, we have to go lights out.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Tonight, we rewrite the rules. The countdown has begun. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Geez, there we go. Got the intro. We went lights out. Now we are back, buddy. Man, I can't wait to do this, man. I think we've got a lot of good stuff to talk to, or a lot of good people to talk to. You, me, a guy named Mr. New? Yeah, we'll have him on here in a little bit. A big Minnesota Vikings fan. And of course, we got a lot of stuff to get to in both college, NFL, and MLB before it's all said and done, buddy. But first, Cheese, how have you been? That's what everybody wants to know.
I've been busy, lots going on. How has Mike been?
No, I'm in the same boat, man. Absolutely bonkers this last couple of weeks. So, well, not just last couple of weeks, but just last week since I saw you right here on the Lights Out Sports Podcast last week, buddy. But yeah, it's been so crazy that I kind of lost my way right there. I couldn't even tell you how busy it's been. That's how busy it's actually been. It's been nuts. But I'm really looking forward to this show. How about you, bud?
Yes, absolutely. There's some great topics. There's
so.
just a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I know. We're going to try to keep it under the 2-hour mark. Anyway.
I hope so, but yeah, probably not.
It would be nice, right? So let's do real quick lights out sports history before we get to the 5 Flamin' 5 and 5. So 7 years ago today, Cheese, at the age of 29, this quarterback shocked the world by announcing his retirement. Cheese, do you know who it is?
Yes, I do. It's Andrew Luck.
Yes, Andrew Luck.
Colts fans are still so mad. They've not found a quarterback since.
Yes, and they still don't have one, right? But he shocked me. I didn't realize that was going to happen. I don't know about you, but I didn't see that coming whatsoever.
No,
how about you?
Did.
Do you remember that so long ago?
When I saw it, I thought it was a joke. I thought, one of those accounts that just makes stuff up.
Right.
That's what I thought it was. And he didn't want to do it anymore. I think he had been banged up a lot. For whatever reason, we don't have to get into that. But I think one of the things the Colts did that was so dumb. That's what I remember even more is what the Colts did after. They decided to get their backup, like starter money, and extend him 3 years, and just make Jacoby Brissett their starter.
Yeah.
That was so dumb. Like he's like a good backup, but he, come on. So that was their solution. So they didn't have they were blindsided, but that's what I remember is the Colts didn't handle it so well. So let's go. Hello.
I like it. Yes, let's go. That's the new theme at the beginning of what you're referring to. We snatched that, and man, I like it a lot. So let me know if you guys like it in the comments right here on the Lights Out Sports Podcast. You can comment all show long, and as long as you're talking about what we are talking about, then we'll put you right up here on the screen, just like we did Shauna. Yeah, Shauna. That's what we'll go with. All right.
Tagaji, but yeah.
Okay. Thanks. No you know me and names, sir. You should probably do it. It's much better when you do the names than I do the names. So,
okay.
All right. Let's get the music in the background and let's get in to the 5 Flamin' 5 at 5. First, let's explain. Cheese gets 5 minutes on the timer. And if he can get all 5 questions correct in that 5 minutes, then he will not burst into flames. Okay. If he does not get those 5 questions, he'll burst into flames. And then I'll do the show until Mr. New comes on, and then we'll be able to do it together, I guess. So we'll just see how it goes.
There's a backup plan. That's good.
Yes.
You have a backup plan in case I die. Yeah.
Just in case, sir. I mean, you said it's been a long week. Maybe you won't be as sharp today as you are in the past. I don't know. Maybe.
No, I'll be sharp.
Okay. All right. You seem to be able to turn it on, right, when you come on the show. So we certainly appreciate that. I know all of our fans do as well. Let's get that music in the background. All right, and the timer will begin, Cheese. When I'm done reading the first question, are you ready, buddy?
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. Let's go. It's about as animated as I'm going to get. I'm not an animated guy necessarily. So, all right. Question 1, sir. The Brewers have the best record in the National League despite hitting the fewest home runs. But they lead Major League Baseball in on-base plus slugging. They have the lowest chase rate of any team in baseball. They are the 2nd highest in walk rate. They're 3rd highest in team stolen bases and in sacrifice bunts. But my question to you, Cheese, is this type of play, the get on base and then, get them in, is that more sustainable than just simply sitting back and waiting for the big 3-run home run?
It's sustainable during the regular season, especially against teams that aren't as good as you. It is definitely sustainable in the regular season. You can win games with pitching, defense, base running, all of that. But 18 of the last 20 World Series champions were in the top 10 in homers. And 19 of the last 20 were in the top 14. So I think a lot of those teams, a lot of teams didn't have the Brewers pitching and bullpen and defense and all that. But still, that's telling. You're going to, in the postseason, you're going to have to hit some home runs. So the Brewers have had a lot of trouble. Last few years, they've been very good, and they can't get over the hump. They can't win in the postseason. They did get to NLCS last year and couldn't do anything offensively. So obviously, I think it could be a huge problem for them in the postseason. But no, right now they're probably going to end with the best record in baseball going in the playoffs.
All right. Question 2, sir. He left Ole Miss for LSU the night before their playoff run last year. He tried to poach all of Ole Miss's players and coaches, and now he's trying to add NFL players, we'll talk about that in a little bit, to his roster. My question to you, sir, is has Lane Kiffin made LSU the Dodgers of college football?
No, I would not say that far. They're not that far. The Dodgers are so much hated. I know so many people that said my least favorite team used to be the Yankees or used to be this team. Now it's the Dodgers. But I think in the SEC, probably Tennessee fans already hate him. Ole Miss fans now hate him. So in the SEC, yes. Nationally, I wouldn't go that far, but certainly a lot of people now are going to dislike LSU much more than they used to.
All right, sir, let's go to MLB for a moment again. Elise Arraez has the chance to be the first player in MLB history, yes, history is the key word here, to win the batting title for 4 different teams. the Twins, the Marlins, the Padres, and now the Phillies. So, Cheese, has batting average fallen off that much in our current MLB game?
Does it count the Phillies if you played like 2 months with them? Anyway, topic for another day.
Yes.
Yes, it has fallen off big time. The sabermetrics people, analytical people have fought to get rid of batting average. They talk about OPS plus, stuff like that, on base percentage, slugging, OPS, all that. They're focusing on that because they believe a homer is worth so much more than a single, which it is, because the average, if you hit a ton of singles, you're going to have a high average.
Mm-hmm.
But not every scenario. Sometimes it's better just to slap a single, second and third, 2 out. So I think it's gone a little too far. I think it's still important, more important than probably a lot of these super sabermetric people realize.
All right, sir. 4 of 5. Here we go. Oregon's Dante Moore, going back to college football, is reportedly throwing with more velocity than ever in his career. And it was said that he's worked with Paul Skeen's personal pitching coach to develop better torque. And scouts say that he is the early favorite to be QB1 in the 2027 draft. Here's my question, Cheese. If he is the number 1 pick, will this be a new trend in college football to get a Major League Baseball pitching coach to help you?
Oh, absolutely. I think this trend is going to get really, really popular, especially guys not like Dante Moore, who's got a good arm anyway, but guys that have kind of fringe arms. They want to get more, they want to strengthen their arm. And there's some evidence you can do it a little bit, only so much, you can. But yeah, this is going to be a trend. There are guys that they have a lot of tools, they have like an average NFL arm. They're going to want to hire a coach like this. And right now I have Dante Moore going into the season as my QB1 for next year's draft.
All right, very interesting. She's the last one. The Bills, and I got to be careful with this one. I can't let my tongue get too tied. You'll see in a second. The Bills now have the most expensive tickets by average ticket prices in the NFL, according to TickPick.com. $610. The Eagles are at $473. The Bears are at $472. The Packers $454. Seahawks are at $428. Cheese, would you pay any of those prices for even the best seats in any of those stadiums?
If I had $1 million, sure, but no, not right now. No, I would. That's insane. And the Bears one's funny because before last year, the fans weren't paying it. And if they fall off and win 7-8 games again, they're not going to pay it either. It's just that's insane. In Buffalo, I mean, they're always good, so I guess they can charge that. But that's absolutely ridiculous. I'm guessing you wouldn't pay that either.
I wouldn't pay anything close to that, sir. Nothing even remotely close to that, sir.
I figured. Knowing what I know about you. Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, you did it again, man. Of course you did. You always do it. You got it in the nick of time. All right, buddy. Let's do our follow-up here. We love doing that as well. The 5 Flamin' 5 follow-up is presented by Frostbuddy. You can go to www.frostbuddy and /Red Hot Reds. That's one of our podcasts here on the All Gloves Off Sports Media conglomerate. You can get their podcast, and then you can also support them by going to frostbuddy.com and going /Red Hot Reds. You'd be surprised what all you can get. I'll let you go to the website and take a look. So here's the 5 Flamin' follow-up, Cheese. Number 1, so we're looking at spending the most in their quarterback room. So number 1, the Rams spend $55.1 million just on their quarterbacks. The Chargers are at $49.7. The Cowboys are at $48.2. The Bills come in number 4 at $47.3, and the Browns at number 5 with $44.5. And then let's look at the other end of the spectrum, Cheese. Who's spending the least amount of money on their quarterback room? The Giants at $10.1 million. The Falcons at $9.4. The Dolphins at $7.3. The Jets at $6.6. And the Saints at $5.8. Cheese, first of all, there's 3 questions here, but are you surprised by any of these either top 5 or bottom 5 teams?
No, I'm not surprised at all because, I cover all 32 teams. I look at the salary caps of every team all the time. So this actually doesn't surprise me at all, just because I already kind of knew it, but it probably will surprise some people, some of these numbers.
Yeah, I was surprised at a few of them. So the Browns obviously have the worst value, and we'll talk more about that here when we get to our NFL four down territory segment. Do the Saints, Cheese, have the best value just because they're only at $5.8 million?
Well, first of all, the Browns, it's because of that terrible contract, the worst contract in NFL history, Deshaun Watson. That's why. And it actually would have been higher, but they pushed money into future years, killing their cap. Otherwise, it would probably be number one on this list, believe it or not.
Wow.
But the Saints have the best value if Tyler Shuck works out, if he takes the next step. If he becomes like a top 10 quarterback, then yes, they do. But right now, no, because you got to factor in how good the quarterback is as well. Now, when you see, he's got 3 years left on his contract. So if the Saints, teams like the Saints, and we have the Giants on there, Falcons, teams like that, when they have quarterbacks that are like real young, if they work out, if they have a breakout year, then just go for it. Because so many teams are limited the cap because they pay the quarterback over $50 million a year on average. So they can't like get reinforcements elsewhere. But when you have a quarterback on a rookie contract, that is a tremendous advantage. That's how Seattle built their team with Russell Wilson. He was on a rookie contract when they won the Super Bowl. So that's just a tremendous advantage if your quarterback's on a rookie contract. So if Tyler Shuck works out, then yes, that is a tremendous value. We got to wait and see. Of those five, God, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. Tremendous value. I'd have to look at all 32 to see what the best value is.
Okay. Yes, I mean there's. It's like you said, if that works out,
Patriots might have the best value right now with Drake May, maybe. Okay. Bo Nix, Broncos might be as well. Those are two that. Jane Daniels, Washington. Those are the ones coming to mind because they're on rookie contracts.
Right, and you have to take advantage of the rest of your team when your quarterback's on that rookie contract, because you're going to have to pay that quarterback eventually, right?
Yes. That's why you go for it. That's when you can go out and spend. That's when you have salary cap room. A lot of these teams, they have cap room, like like Washington had this cap room. There's a reason they don't have a quarterback that's taking up 40-some million in cap charge that year.
Mm-hmm. All right, Cheese. Last thing for our 5 Flamin' 5 follow-up question here, buddy. You always say that you can't win without a good quarterback. So I'm going to give you those 5 top spenders again. The Rams at 55.1, the Chargers at 49.7 million. Again, this is just on their quarterback rooms, everybody. You got the Cowboys spending 48.2, the Bills at 47.3, and the Browns at 44.5. Can each of those top 5 win with their current quarterback room? Can they get to the playoffs?
Oh, no, the Browns absolutely can't. No, I mean, that's not even a chance. I mean, it's a better chance of probably buying a Powerball and hitting that. I do think the Bills are going to make the playoffs, the Rams and Chargers. Cowboys, I just don't know what their defense would have to take a big step. So I think, I mean, the Cowboys absolutely can. I'm just not, I'm still deciding. We have a prediction show coming up right before the season.
Yes,
still deciding about the Cowboys. That's a tough one for me, but I kind of did a preliminary AFC. I wrote down like 10 teams I think are going to make the playoffs. There's only 7 do. So I'm like, oh crap. I don't know how I'm going to figure that out, but the Browns know, the rest of them absolutely can.
Well, the thing is, you don't have to figure it out right now. We've got a few weeks yet, so
maybe there'll be some injuries and they'll make it easier. Some will get knocked out for the season. There's been so many injuries this preseason. It's crazy.
There have been. We talked about that last week. We were on that bandwagon before everybody else. You're going to hear me say that a couple times during this show because there are some things that we're going to talk about that we talked about last week, and the national media is just now catching up to us. So if you want your breaking stuff, if you want to know what's going to happen in the next week, it's almost like we got a lights out sports crystal ball over here. But
they just rub your head. That's what we do.
Is that what it is? That would probably work, actually. That would probably work. Oh, man. We will have our good buddy, Mr. New. He will be on here with us in the next few moments. We'll talk Vikings football with him. We got a lot of great questions to ask him. A lot of different things that you might think you know that you might not know. But first, lights out mega matchup that's presented by Anubis Sports. Let me go back out of here. I did not get the Anubis Sports graphic. Let me pull it real fast so that we can get it up here on the board. Yes, give me 2 seconds here, and I will have it. There it is. All right, there it is. Let me take the top off here. And then we will get to our mega matchups, which are basically, Cheese, a bunch of baseball games over the weekend that I'm looking forward to. I think you're going to look forward to them all too, but I want to know which one sparks your interest or piques your interest most. All right, here we go. Red Sox at Yankees, Mariners at Blue Jays, Rangers at Brewers, Pirates at Cardinals, White Sox Twins, Padres Rays. Now, of course, Anubis Sports is the official sports website of the Lights Out Sports Podcast. They produce high-quality sports stories that are opinion-driven and professionally written. So, Cheese, let me give these to you again here. Red Sox, Yankees, Mariners, Blue Jays, Rangers, Brewers, Pirates at the Cardinals, White Sox at the Twins, Padres at the Rays. Give me the one that speaks to you the most.
Cubs, Reds. Wait, did you say Pirates, Cardinals? Pirates, Cardinals? I don't know. Well, so that one doesn't seem to fit with the others. That doesn't really fit.
Okay, well, I tell you why I put it up there. So you and I are big fans of the National League Central. My Reds reside there, even though they're not doing real great. And your Cubs reside there. They're in second place and doing pretty well. They've pretty much got the lock on that first wild card spot. But you've got the Pirates.
Phillies are right there. Just the same. Just Phillies.
Yeah, they're there. But I mean, you've got the Cardinals and the Pirates, who are two teams that no one really thought they were going to be there. And if one of them sweeps the other one, they're right there, and they kind of knock the other one out. So I think this could be a real big rivalry over the next few years, depending on what those three games over the weekend do, where maybe one of them moves forward and takes that step forward, and the other one kind of takes that step back. So that's why I put it up there.
Cardinals are losing 12-1 to the Orioles.
Is that all?
Yeah, they're getting killed.
Okay.
Yeah. Braves and Dodgers are tied.
All right. Thank you for the updates. We certainly appreciate it because I am not looking at that spot right at the moment. What about the Red Sox and the Yankees? Does that pique you at all?
That used to pique me more. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't. I know it's an important game. Both are probably gonna make the playoffs, but it just doesn't. I don't know why. It just doesn't have the same effect when I was younger, and it was like Jeter and then Nomar and just like, Kurt Schilling was there with the Red Sox and Arod was with the Yankees. Just, I don't know why. It just doesn't pique me as much as it used to, but it's still a huge rivalry.
It is a big rivalry. I'll certainly give you that. But I also think that a certain four-letter network that will go unnamed that starts with an E and ends with an N has run that rivalry into the ground. So that's why I think it doesn't matter, at least as much to me as it used to.
Yeah,
go ahead, sir.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, Big Papi, Bernie Williams, all those, when they both had, there were some years where they were the two of the best, like 5 teams in the league. There was a stretch of like 8 years where they were 2 of the best 5 every year. So those years, yeah, it was pretty amazing. But you're right. I think they have room.
Yeah, we're going to bring up a name from the past here with a couple of those teams and some statistics that we'll be doing here later on in the show as well. What about Mariners Blue Jays? I like this. This is intriguing to me, and we'll talk about both these teams later on in the show.
It's the ALCS rematch, but both teams have been very disappointing, especially scoring. They just have not scored runs like they did last year, and that's why they're, not nearly as good as they were last year. It's crazy that they got Dylan Cease, who's been one of the best pitchers in baseball this year, and they're still not even close to as good. That's what's amazing to me for the Blue Jays.
Right. Now, we do have Mr. New off on the stage where I can see him, but nobody else can see him. So he's smiling at me. He can hear me, so we're good there. Give us just a couple seconds here, buddy, and we will get you live on the air with Lights Out Sports Podcast. All right. So, maybe you can, I don't know, stop moving that camera all around between point A and point B. All right. He's like, okay, I will. Okay. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff here to gravitate to. You got Red Sox and Yankees. We've already talked about Mariners, Blue Jays. I think this is interesting too, because these are technically 2 first place teams in the Rangers and the Brewers. What do you think about this matchup, Cheese?
Go Rangers.
Yes. Okay.
Well,
that's all you really have to say here, right?
Well, I actually, the Cubs still have a shot because they play the Brewers 7 more times this year. Mm-hmm. So they still technically have a shot. They'd probably have to win at least 5, maybe 6 of those. And the Cubs got the Braves and Red Sox right after too. So it's like they end the season in Boston for 3. So their schedule's so brutal. I do not think they're going to catch the Brewers at all. but any chance they'd have to win like 6 or 7. So hopefully the Rangers can win at least 2 or 3. That'd be great.
Yeah, and we'll talk about strength of schedule again later on in the show. There you go, Cheese. You set me up really nice there. White Sox at Twins. Are the Twins for real? Can they make a run at the White Sox in this division, Cheese?
Probably not. I don't have the standings in front of me, but probably not. The Twins, they're probably right around 500. I don't know. I don't think so.
You quit too soon. I was trying to get the standings in front of me real quick.
I'll pull it up.
You got it? Yeah, you probably do it faster than I can. So
the White Sox are 2.5 up on Cleveland and 4.5 now up on Minnesota. Minnesota's lost 4. They're 4 and 6 in the last 10, so they've dropped a little bit.
Okay, so then even at that, right? So I think this is a series, Cheese, where the White Sox can kick the pesky Twins to the curb, right? And it can be White Sox, Guardians, and that's it.
Yeah, they can. If they sweep them, that'd be devastating for the Twins, who they're 2 out of the last wild card, but they're two teams to catch. And you mentioned the Rangers just real quick. No one in the AL West has a winning record.
Yeah, we'll get
the Rangers are okay. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. You're good. You can talk about it a little ahead of time, but we won't get to that once we get to our MLB segment. So
that surprised me.
That's the problem with not reading the notes ahead. That's okay. I only make them for me. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
If it's at the end, maybe I didn't get that far.
No, you're fine. You're fine, buddy. Okay, there's one big matchup, and this is the one that I would say that intrigues me the most, mostly because it's an NL and an AL, and I still like that nuance. But when you have 2 teams, one from each of division meet like that, Padres at the Rays. What do you think about that matchup, buddy?
The Rays are still in first place. It's not guaranteed. So it's big for them. They want to stay at the Yankees. And the Padres are fighting for their life. I mean, let's see. They'd make it. They're the last wild card of the season and today, but Arizona's only 2 back. So they're just trying to hold off Arizona at this point. So it's really, really big series for San Diego. That's probably the best team, one of the best teams they have left in their schedule. So if they can win 2 or 3, that'd be huge for them.
Right. Okay. I like that as well, but I'm going to say the Rays will take that series. We'll see. So I'm going to go. I'm going to say the Red Sox will take the Yankees series. I'm going to go with Mariners over the Blue Jays. We'll talk about that in a moment. The Brewers will take the Rangers, unfortunately. I think you're just going to see the Pirates overtake the Cardinals. The White Sox will kick the Twins to the curb, and the Rays will beat the Padres. So those are kind of my picks on all of those. Do you want to give picks or anything? You just want to leave it alone at that?
I think the team that scores more runs will win the game.
I think you're right.
Cool.
All right. And once again, we are brought to you this segment by Anubis Sports. We've now matched up with Anubis Sports. That's why we're doing the Lights Out Mega Matchups here. You can see our podcast and selected articles based on Lights Out Sports podcast segments. Anubis Sports is the official website of Lights Out Sports Podcast. High-quality sports stories that are opinion-driven and professionally written. All right. We, sir, are in for a treat. I'm going to put that back up there, and we're about 10 seconds away from grabbing Mr. Newman, bringing him up with us. So I can't wait to do this. We're going to have fun with this, I think, buddy. Here we go.
Absolutely.
The guy, the man, the myth, the legend. He's finally got his camera to stop jumping around all over the place. Here he is, Mr. New. How you doing, buddy?
A little sweaty. As you can see, I got beautiful the Gopher Stadium right behind me, right?
Look at you.
There. So had to get some there. We got fans Susan there screaming out there too. Yo, let's go.
Okay, man, this is great. So, we got some questions for you, buddy. Are you ready for some of these questions, man?
Absolutely.
All right. So before we get too far into this, I do want to pull up a picture. Cheese is already smiling. He's going to go absolutely bonkers here when I do it. But we're going to pull up a picture. There it is. Let me take the top off of this again. Oh, look at those uniforms. Aren't those beautiful? So somebody had had a podcast today where he went absolutely bonkers on these uniforms today. The most cheese answer ever. So that's our good buddy, John there. Thank you very much, John, for being on with us. We certainly appreciate it. So I will start with our guest, Mr. New. What do you think about your Vikings uniform? And then we'll talk about all four of them together.
I thought it was a concept that I was kind of expecting. I did see some mock-ups, so I was expecting the gold in there. Like the Nordic runes, like everything. The only thing that kind of concerned me was there's like this picture of Jefferson out there with it, and the helmet and the uniform don't match. So what I'm hoping is that's just a mock-up helmet. Because you know how goofy that kind of looks when the shades are just slightly off. I think that happened to a team before. I can't remember who it was, but I remember that happened once before recently, and everybody was like, the colors don't match. I think it was the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
But can't
You
remember.
want to talk about something where the shades don't match? Look at that nasty looking picture with the Chicago Bears. I mean, look at that thing.
that was a Bears one.
What's he trying to prove right here? Is he cold? I mean, is he shivering? Is that what are we doing here in this picture?
Mike, you should see. There's worse pictures of him. Oh, man, there's some bad ones. I'm glad you didn't have the one where he's sitting down with his legs and.
The new one where he's kind of being a sassy. Little sass to him, huh?
Yeah, he is. He's very sassy. Let's put it that way.
All right.
He likes dresses and painting his nails. But the Bears one looks like they ripped off Syracuse. That's what it looks like to me. I don't like the Packers numbers, the shape. I don't like the Viking shape of the numbers. It looks weird. But it's funny you didn't put up the Titans have the worst ones of all of them. They're awful. I mean, just awful. I mean,
you didn't like that one?
I didn't like any of them. The only one that I liked part of it was the Jaguars helmets.
Oh.
I like the Jaguars helmets. Every other one is terrible in my opinion. All 8.
Jags did a ton of work on theirs. It looks like, I mean, there's so many colors. There's a lot going on there. I feel like they really poured a lot into it. There was one I saw from the Lions I didn't really quite understand. They said the shoulder pads are supposed to like replicate the prowess of a lion's eyes when it's, got a gazelle and focusing. I don't know. It was it's a stripe. It's a stripe.
It's a stripe. Okay. Now, Cheese, I know you don't like these Green Bay uniforms whatsoever.
No, they're terrible.
Yes, trust me. I know. I laughed very, very hard at your podcast today. If nobody's seen it, go over to where at, Cheese?
Yeah, at Football with Cheese on YouTube, CHEEZ. Okay. Football Cheese on X, and I'll just say this: that's not the Packer green. I hate that color, green. I don't like white helmets, white pants. Like that. One of the things, like cheese heads, like cheese. Like we always have, gold yellow helmets and gold yellow pants, no matter what. That's what you always have. So I just don't understand the coloring. And it's not even a white helmet; it's alabaster. It's not even they're all white uniforms, which some people like. This is just a disaster in every aspect. To me,
that's like a cream. I liked it though. I thought you didn't like it, really.
I don't like anything about this whatsoever. I like nothing about this. And you know what's sad?
Cool. And again, if you don't believe him, go listen to the podcast. He says a few choice words, and I don't think it didn't even look like he was trying to hold back after a while. He just said whatever he wanted to say after about 5 minutes in.
It's not for kids. I also ripped the Bills nickel uniforms. Those gray ones.
Yeah, the ones that look like a Diet Pepsi can.
Yeah, those are bad.
Yeah, I ripped those as well. Those are the two I focused on: the Packers here and then the Bills nickel. And just like some of these uniforms are great. They're regular. Just wear your regular uniforms. They're just doing too much. Anyway.
Yeah. I don't want to make Cheese's head explode here, but I do like, so it would be on the left shoulder. I do like the Green Bay kind of. I don't know. It looks a little Aztecish to me. I don't know. I like that part of the uniform.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing I don't have a problem with, actually. That's about it.
Okay. No. Right, are they going to be embroidered? Because they look like they're embroidered on there, and I know that is quite. I don't know. A lot of people are looking forward to that.
That GB was kind of like where Vince Lombardi they wear in practice, like. And Green Bay sells that hat. That symbol is like that's what they wear. Like Vince Lombardi wear in practice with that GB. That's why they put it there. So that is the only part of the uniform I don't have a problem with. but the color is terrible. I don't like the alabaster helmets and pants, and that green is not Green Bay green. I don't know what that color is, but it's
definitely a different color
olive.
green.
Yeah.
I said in my video, it'd be fine for a car, but not a jersey.
It does match well. It's very neutral. You know what I mean? Like, I guess neutral colors.
You're just going to agitate him even more, New. I mean, I don't know why you're trying. But,
I legitimately liked him. I don't know, man. Like I did. And the Bears ones I thought were the most Bearsy thing ever. It was like, yeah, that seems about right. That's
like Syracuse
perfect
to me, and they're doing this to make money. They're trying to go. I want you to buy the jersey, so it's all about money. Nike's stock is in the tank. They're trying to do this to make money. The NFL wants to make money. That's why they're doing this, and that's it. It's all about.
I think that's the game of selling jerseys.
Yep. And some people are on X saying, "I'm going to buy the jersey. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it." All these teams of all 8 teams, I've seen them. It's like, why? Like, what?
By all 8?
Well, no. No. I've seen. I looked at all the teams and the reactions, and all 8 teams, because there's 8 teams that did this. I saw some people say, "Oh, I can't wait to buy that. Can't wait to buy it." We'll see if they do, but I'm just saying it's like this is what they want. They want to sell jerseys.
Yeah, no, they do. And that's what I was saying, kind of with the embroidery thing. A lot of stuff really, when they stopped doing the embroidery, their jersey sales tanked. A lot of people were really mad, especially when they buy the 170 or whatever, the more expensive one. I won't say exact numbers on here, but the more expensive one, and there still is no embroidery. And I know that was a big problem with a lot of people. So I hope they bring that back. I think that would make the jerseys a little bit more worth it for me. More quality into it.
All right. So, Mr. New, let's go over some stuff here. I want people to know where they can find you at. You do a lot of stuff on the interweb. So tell us what you got and where you're at.
Usually never on the street like this. Sorry about the noise with everything, guys. I was trying to work my way back to the place, but camera moving, so I just figured I'd stop right here. But Mr. New on all platforms. That is MRKNEW, and mainly the parody channel is on TikTok. And the other name would be, you see me at Soda New, SOTA, as in Minnesota. I try to do more when I'm on X and stuff like that. I try to do more accurate and what would you call it? More commentary type stuff, or predictions and fantasy, and kind of go all over the place. But yeah, the TikTok is a completely different thing. I would just joke around over there. So.
All right. So we'll get to your TikTok later, but let's do this, buddy. So you've been on the Kyler Murray train from day one. So I've got some questions about you and your train. All right. So you got your wish. You have 1 year of Kyler. Are you truly happy about that, sir?
Yes, very happy. My only hope is I plead with the fan base to not ruin this. Please don't ruin this. That is all I ask of them.
You're asking a lot of Minnesota fan base.
It's been frustrating. It's been very frustrating because, I get it. A lot of people don't care for Kyler Murray, and you know what? A lot of people didn't care for Sam Darnold too when he came over. And there was already this plan of we're going to move on, and I don't want that to be the plan. I don't want there to just always be this, well, we're switching quarterbacks next year, kind of mentality. I'd really like to get something solidified. I think that Kyler is a good guy to sign to something like a 2-3 year deal right away too. Like if he's having a good season, pop him on there for like a $20 million contract, and don't wait till next year if you can or whatever. Don't wait till super long so he demands more money, and eat him up right away, and then get him on that with it backloaded a little bit harder. And then in 3 years, if you're ready for a different guy, you can move on. If not, you can redo the contract, and you know what I mean, you're kind of set to go there, because regardless of what everybody thinks, McCarthy needs time. And I've been begging people to understand this concept of, the guy only had 6,000 passing yards plus when he came out of college. He still only has 7 something, only barely, or just barely cracking that. A lot of these guys like Carson Beck coming out of college are at 11,000. He's just not there, and to throw him in the starting position, he's not going to learn from that. And I only see pressure mounting on pressure for him. And it's the worst thing for his growth. And I see people blaming coaches, blaming everybody else but JJ McCarthy. And I blame JJ McCarthy. I want to be like that grumpy dad. Like, no, you got to earn it, son. You got to be there. And that's where I think JJ could have been better than he was, or more great, or had his path to greatness was through the grind and the grit and trying to prove himself time and time again and climb that ladder, whether it was with Sam or with Kyler now. But that mentality just isn't there. It's like everyone wants to give him a pass and start him and be like, same old Vikings. We just don't start guys like this. And it's like, he's so far behind on body mechanics and stuff. That's not something you learn when in game. That's something you learn, as quarterback 3. And then I believe you got to even build up to be quarterback 2, because as quarterback 2, you're holding clipboard, you're calling plays. It's a completely different, type of thing. And that's why you usually get a veteran like Wentz. And that's why I think Wentz will be QB2. And if McCarthy stays in this system, he will be QB3.
All right. Well, look at a poll question here. By the way, it's our largest viewed poll question ever. And we will get to that here in just a few moments. We'll get the results. Cheese, I'm going to go to you for a second. I want to ask.
Real quick, I just want to say this. Mr. New was saying about blaming everyone but McCarthy. I saw people blaming Jim Harbaugh for not throwing the ball more at Michigan so he get more passes, more experience. There were people blaming Jim Harbaugh, his college coach, because he ran the ball too much. It's like,
the amount of cope is... I've never seen it. I've never seen since Christian Ponder when I was a kid. That's the last time I seen this amount of cope in Vikings Nation.
Oh, I'll tell you this. When I was a kid, when they signed Randall Cunningham from the Eagles, they were mad. They were mad at that. He was really good for Minnesota. So yeah, Minnesota fans don't get mad at anything.
Well, anytime you can blame anyone from Michigan, I'm all for it. So that's okay. All right. Cheese, I was going to ask you this. Is there a huge difference between QB2 and QB3?
That depends. Like if QB3 is on your practice squad, yeah. If you keep 3 quarterbacks, I don't think it's too much difference because you can always leapfrog, and if QB3, maybe it's just take a year to develop. But some people don't even think McCarthy's going to be on the team in a week, but
we'll
for whatever reason,
minute, yeah.
I know. I was trying to set it up, but no, I don't think it's that big a difference.
Great job.
Like I don't think it's difference. Like for Pittsburgh's a good example. Like Mason Rudolph's a backup, and they keep 4. I don't think there's a big difference. Aller and Will Howard. I don't think it's that big a difference.
Really, you don't think that the rookies or the young minds have to learn before they run the clipboard? Or I guess it's not a clipboard anymore. It is a tablet. Well,
just like naming 2 or 3, I don't think it's that big a deal.
Because picture this, like in your ear. Like, could you picture like Aaron Rodgers listening to Jordan Love call the plays his first years? You know what I'm saying? Or could you picture JJ McCarthy calling plays? You know what I mean? To like Sam Darnold and stuff last season. I don't see that. I feel like you got to build the building blocks up before you can even. Like, I feel like QB2 is a special spot. It's almost like a coach.
Yeah, if you do, if that's a big part of your team, if you do that, some teams do it more than others. But yeah, if you do that, sure, you might want a veteran.
They have been doing that since their new quarterback coach. They've been doing that a lot.
John, he's a Call of Duty guy, John.
He's Call of Duty. I don't know what he's talking about.
So Kyler Murray likes to play video games. That's been the rumor that he loves Call of Duty and that he does that when he should be watching a film. That
so GTA 6 would be the ultimate distraction, right? That would
apparently. Oh God, the Braves.
Yeah, we'll get to that here in a few moments too. I'm sorry, I didn't know what GTA 6 was because I'm not a video game guy.
Grand Theft Auto. The Braves beat the Dodgers, so that's good.
Oh, that is good. That is good. Anytime anybody beats the Dodgers, we're all happy about it. So, Mr. New, do you want the Vikings to sign Kyler to a long-term deal? And if so, what do you think the terms and the years would look like?
Yeah, they kind of like I was saying a little earlier. I would like it to be a 2 to 3 year contract. Get it done early. So that he still has kind of these narratives that are going on about him, not having to prove stuff and whatnot. So that way you can get him at 20-25 million a year, something like maybe reasonable for the Vikings, because they do got to pay a lot of players. They got Addison coming up. They got a lot of players, to be honest, and some of them are going to be a lot of money. And so using that forward thinking, I would really like to be in a place in a few years to where we know like where we're at with the quarterback position. We know, hey, this guy's learning, this guy's here doing this as a backup, and this guy's our starter, and this is how it's going to be. And there is no confusion. And then if we can get that done, get that 2-3 year, whatever deal done, I believe we could readdress it then in 2 to 3 years. If something like JJ stays on the team or they draft a young quarterback, this next draft is kind of loaded. So, it does give a chance to evaluate, or, Kyler Murray being the dual threat, there always is a gamble with that. And maybe it doesn't fit O'Connell. That was another thing a lot of people were worried about. And so, if it doesn't happen to be the perfect marriage, I still think it's a good enough quarterback to hold the team up to where right now. And a lot of people get mad about that. They're like, we don't want to be mid. It's like they want to either tank or, go do really, really good. But the problem with that is you don't know when you're going to do really, really good. You don't know when another team is going to lose players or be down and out, and you can kind of get those wins in or things like that. And the strength of competition, it changes throughout the year. And so, I think we have to be, as Vikings fans, need to be of full belief with Kyler Murray. They need to fully back quarterback one and really be ready for a good season. And then, by all means, if it doesn't end up good, he does have like his thing right now, so you can't even sign him anyway. I don't know when that ends exactly. But once his contract with Arizona ends, I think, you immediately address it.
All right. So I know that's going to be one of the questions that Cheese will ask you here in a few moments is how is that marriage going to be between Kyler and Kevin O'Connell? So we'll talk about that here in a few moments. Let's do the poll question here because I think this is interesting. Again, it was the highest viewed poll question. We got 1.2K on this one. So a lot of people looked at it. Not that many people voted on it, not 1.2, but we had a good amount of people on it here. So it is pretty simple. And Cheese, I'm going to start with you once I read the poll question. I know you always go and vote on these. What should the Vikings do with J.J. McCarthy? Should they keep him as depth? Should they trade him? Should they cut him? Or should they tell him to go back to Michigan? Cheese, what did you vote here on the poll question?
Well, I voted send him back to Michigan. but but seriously, what should they do? You don't want to trade him for like nothing. Like if you trade him, you got to get something for him because I know it was Kwesi, he's no longer there, but you have to get something for him. Otherwise, keep him as your quarterback 3. You let him develop another year, like Mr. New said, and then maybe he takes the next step next year. But I simply cutting him makes no sense because his contract's guaranteed this year anyway. So either keep him or trade him. But trade him, you don't do it for like a 5th rounder next year. You got to get something for him.
Right, at least 3rd, hopefully.
At least a day 2 pick because you use such a high pick on him. You got to.
Well, plus the time invested. I mean, the amount of capital invested in McCarthy is massive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I don't have a problem with anything any of you guys are saying as far as that part goes. So, it'll be, I think it's going to be pretty good. And here's the results from our poll question. So, simply cut him got 12% of the vote. It was in 4th place. Unfortunately, I like this one, but send him back to Michigan was in 3rd place with 21%. I was hoping it'd be a little higher than that, but we got a good laugh out of that one. 25% of our viewers said keep him as depth, and 42%, almost half, said try to trade him. So, yeah, those are the different things.
Wow, I'm surprised. I didn't realize the fan base. That's interesting. Everybody was so diehard with JJ just a week ago. I mean, did they just all turn on him overnight? What happened? What?
I'm not sure, sir. This is the we call it the lights out pulse poll.
This man had an army marching for him. Yeah. Like I do not. I mean, and this is all I can kind of say. And I don't want to be mean to other people that were call him bandwagonish, but. That does seem kind of bandwagony. You know what I mean? Maybe got a jersey, had a lot of high hopes. He was really hyped up on local media a lot. And, I think maybe now people are starting to see those holes and they're just like, you know what? I'm not buying into this garbage anymore. I'm not going to spend more time on a broken toy. Mm-hmm. And there is some other concerns of mine that I've actually had with JJ that are they're nobody else has brought them up, but they are alarming to me. I do work in the medical profession for over 20 years, and a full meniscus repair usually leads to arthritic conditions. You don't usually want to do that, especially in a young man. And usually to have a full repair, like there has to be a massive amount of damage. And I just didn't see a lot of contact in that Raiders game or scar tissue. And I almost wonder if when he took that hit from Dallas Turner way back in college, and he maybe just didn't notice it and just thought it was because those things, you sometimes you tear your meniscus and you don't even really know it. You just think it's a bump or bruise and you keep going with life. And, I almost wonder if that knee's bothering him a little too. I am concerned a little bit about certain things, just, and so outside of, and especially his mechanics not growing too. But like I said, I think that that's a product of being pushed on the field. I think he could have worked on throwing mechanics, if he wasn't worried about, I'm going to be the starter, I got to win this competition. This is the pros. The competitions are over when you get here. There's no competition. This is, the best man goes, and it's clear who the best man is by then. And if you don't, and that's my biggest knock, I guess, on Coach O'Connell. I love him in every aspect, but it's like, dude, how can you not tell who's the best man on the squad? You're sitting right next to him all day. And that's, I guess, where I got a little confused.
All right, and that kind of leads me to my final question. Then I'm going to turn it over to Cheese for a couple of questions that he's got for you here. So, Mr. New, I'm going to just ask, there's two more quarterbacks on your roster right now, Carson Wentz and Max, is it Brosmer? I think that's how you say it.
Brosmer?
Where do they
like
fit
my
in?
bro. I Max Brosmer does look like your typical QB3. McCarthy does look better than him, like quite a bit. But Max kind of looks like your typical kind of practice squad guy. I just don't see Max really rising to much more than that ever.
Okay.
He can understand the offense. He can kind of hold it there. But in his games, I think last year when they beat the Lions, he only had -1 net yards for that win. And you kind of seen it keep over in this preseason. He's not moving the ball super efficiently or anything like that. So I think if you keep two quarterbacks, it would be Wentz and Kyler, and then if you run with three, JJ's free. So but
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so I'm going to turn everything over to Cheese here for a second. He's the football guy. He's got some more analytical questions for you here. Go ahead, Cheese. Give them to him.
Well, real quick. I totally forgot what I was going to say now. No. If Max Brosmer is your quarterback, the Vikings are going to pick high in the draft if he has to start this year. It did not go well last year. But at the other point, I'll come back and not remember. I'll come back to it. But anyway, Kevin O'Connell has typically had quarterbacks that operate in the pocket and only leave when there's pressure, and therefore they have to. So that's not Kyler Murray's style.
Nope.
Because of his height, because of athleticism, he typically does a lot of damage outside the pocket. So, Mr. New, do you think this will be easy transition for Kevin O'Connell?
I will never say anything is easy. You know what I mean? Because everything in the NFL is pretty difficult. No game, any given Sunday, you can always lose. But what I will say is this: it's just like with Caleb Williams, except for the height, obviously, and the Bears. Caleb has a tough time playing with timing in the pocket. He has to play a lot of it off script. And then you had Ben Johnson come over. And at first, it wasn't the greatest, but as the season went on, it harmonized. And good coaches and good quarterbacks find a way. And that's what I'm seeing here is, what's ironic is Kyler Murray is almost like a miniature Caleb Williams, and I could see them doing a lot of those play action rollouts. And I do think he has a nice deep ball, you know what I mean? But some of those throws that Caleb does blows my mind. I try to not give him too much credit because he's, young. And then we got to see a lot more from him because, you see some of them ones where he's in the pocket and he might as well be not able to see his receivers because the ball goes flying, way off course. But when you see him off script running and it's like, whoa, that was wild. And I think that it's going to be like that. Like, at first, maybe they're going to have a little bit of trouble having Kyler in the shotgun a lot or, kind of moving him around and figuring out where the harmony is going to be. But I think after a few games, with all those receivers, all those targets, I don't see how it could not work unless Kyler Murray either knock on wood, Steele or whatever gets hurt, injured in some sort of way, or meteor hits the earth. I don't know. Like, there's no way he's going to be bad with Juwan Jennings, Addison, Jefferson, Hawkinson. Aaron Jones can catch. You guys know that as Packers guys. I mean, does get injured quite a bit. I did want a running back out of a lot of these drafts, but Vikings got themselves a little speedy guy, UDFA. But no, I think that'll marriage well. I just think that it's going to take a few games. People are going to poke fun at it, and there will be some times where Kyler don't see or there is a pass missed. But I just, you know what I mean? I hope we don't get the typical overreaction. Put in the next guy.
Yeah, I mean, do you think the receivers, it'll be easy transition? Because Kyler's not always had great chemistry. Like he and Marvin Harrison Jr. just never got on the same page. Do you think that could be an issue in Minnesota?
I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is gassed up. Let's just put it that way. I don't think he's nowhere near this glorified receiver that people try to make him out to be. People try to use this. Oh, well, he had Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. And I mean, he could have just exploded. And it's like, Jacoby Brissett lost all those games, right? What did he actually won one, I think, but people want to say like, oh, he played better. I mean, statistically, I guess, but he still didn't win. And so I don't think that Kyler ever had a good situation. I really don't. You got Trey McBride over there, and I do think that quarterback kind of with tight ends, it's a tendency thing. So I do think Kyler's going to like having TJ Hawkinson and Josh Oliver, and that's another target. So I just don't think there's going to be a big problem with it. I think when he's rolling off script or when he's even in the pocket, there's enough guys to where there's going to be somebody open, and he can throw the ball pretty darn good. I'm hyped on Kyler. Like, I'm big on the guy.
Okay. Well, his motivation and his dedication have been questioned in the past. We touched on a little bit earlier. In Murray's original contract extension, the offer in the 2022 season, the Cardinals mandated that he spend 4 hours of independent film study, which included not playing video games or watching TV during study time. Sounds like the Cardinals were worried that he wouldn't put in the time, like he wouldn't watch film on his own. They did remove the clause a few days later. Does that concern you at all?
Not anymore. If I was in Arizona and this was Arizona, I'd say yes, because I think it was immature of Kyler to not be doing his homework and everything like that. And I do hold him accountable for that. But I think he had you know what I mean? I think he was 5-star recruit. But, you got this guy coming out of college, number 1 overall pick, rookie of the year, or offensive rookie player of the year, whatever he won. And, then Larry's gone, and then he gets D-Hop, and, he kind of starts to see that they're not building this team around him. They're not giving him any protection. And every day going into work is like just getting throttled. And there's nothing to look forward to. There's no hope almost over there. It's a very bad organizational situation. I never liked it, whether it was Cliff Kingsbury when they first had it. I do think that was a little more successful because of their relationship prior. But, and like I said, I think that Kyler was young. I think he was immature, and they probably put that in there because he wasn't, attending class, because sometimes when you are the number 1 overall pick, you think you're all that. But a lot came crashing down to earth for Kyler. He was the meme of the internet for a while there because of that. And, I think they removed it because it was so embarrassing, you know what I mean, for not just Kyler, but for the whole organization. It was just a bad move. But I think that is something that of course, like, you have to be concerned. So if he's not making team meetings, like, someone better go grab him and pull him in there and be like, you're making team meetings, bud. Like, absolutely.
All right, Cheese, I got your message, but I want you to look at the last 2 that he's put up, and just look at them and tell me yes or no, all right? All right, so, Cheese, I know you've got a few more things that you want to ask. I got a couple questions as well here before we let Mr. New go, but go ahead, buddy. What's your next question for Mr. New in this really, really pivotal Vikings season for them?
That's all I had. That's all I sent you. That's all I have for Mr.
Okay.
New.
I thought there was more. That's all right. I can go here because, so, gentlemen, this is kind of for both of you, right? So our guys at the far side of the bench said in their podcast last week that you can catch on our YouTube channel. It's, of course, All Gloves Off Sports Media that the Detroit Lions were the best team in the NFC North. And to quote the guys, they said that it's not even close. Do you agree with that assumption? Cheese, I'm going to start with you.
Not even close. I mean, that's
even close. That's what he said.
If I had to pick the best team right now, I would pick the Lions, but I don't. I think that's crazy. Not even close. I mean, that's one of those divisions anyone could win it. Like every single, I'm telling you right now, well, not me, but like not people who actually, do this for a living, but every single fan base in that division expects to win the division. Just look on X. Everyone, Packers, Lions, Bears, and Vikings all expect to win the division. They all think they're the best team. I do not think the Packers are the best team in the division, but most Packer fans do. So no, not even close. I think that's crazy. The only thing you could say to not even close is that the Lions have a much easier schedule because they finished last place. That's the only thing you could say. Well, that's your only argument you could make that the Lions, well, they'll easily win the division. But even so, I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be close.
So what about what Jonathan says here? He disagrees on the Lions simply because he's had 2 new offensive coordinators in 2 years. Does that make a difference, gentlemen?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they needed to make a change because it wasn't working last year.
Well, when they lost all that,
Yeah, they lost Ben Johnson, that hurt. Lost Aaron Glenn, that hurt. We'll see. Drew Petzig, I not a big fan of his offenses, so we'll see. But they had to, making a change is fine. If it's not working, make a change. You know me. I don't like continuity. If it's not working, make a change. And they had to make a change. The guy last year, I can't think of his name right now, lost play calling duties real quick. So they needed to make a change.
All right. So what do you think about this here? JJ be traded for a 5th or a 6th. Justin Fields went for a 6th. Geno went for a 6th. That's kind of the market. Mr. New, I'll start with you. Would you be okay if they trade JJ for a 5th or a 6th?
I feel like that's Justin Fields now. What did Justin Fields, to Jonathan, what did Justin Fields go for when he first went? Well, where did he first get traded to from the Bears? The Jets?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can look it up.
What would that be?
Yeah, no, I think I'll just answer this real quick. You can't take that. You can't. The Minnesota
Right, you'd say no. You have
to either keep him or get at least a 3rd rounder.
If you're the Vikings, you could wait into the year too till somebody might, team might get an injury, be desperate. But anyway, go on, Chiefs.
Oh wait, no, this is the trade. The Chiefs. It was a 6th round pick.
Chiefs 6th. Oh, so it was a 6 even back then for poor Fields. Brutal.
Traded from the Bears
this year, right?
The Bears traded him to Steelers for, a conditional 6th round pick. It was the Steelers, actually.
That was it back then.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Well, they don't have any leverage because they were drafting Caleb Williams. They had no leverage, so they,
Right. And yeah, I don't know if there's enough mystique behind JJ to get, maybe even a 4th if you stack something on there. But yeah, like you said, you can't say yes to a 6th. I think I would rather just develop the kid and then trade him later or see if he's going to work out, if it's a 6th, because then what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's like a free quarterback 3, in case you get injuries. We all saw it with the Niners years ago. And, sometimes you need that guy back there. And honestly, JJ as QB3 is where I want him. That's where I want the hype train to start, the guy to go down, and he just needs quite a few years to just straight learn.
Yeah, you've got to be getting tired. You've got that thing on the selfie stick, right? You've got to be getting tired of holding that thing out there, right? Your camera?
I actually got it on my hand. I thought I'd make it back to the hotel, but I didn't.
We can give you a second to have you get back to the hotel, man. We've got other stuff that we could do real quick. If I don't want your hand falling off or something, and your wife getting all mad at me. So,
and I'm worried it's a little loud in here. I am probably just a block away. If you guys want, I can walk in there and probably be a little better lighting.
All right. Well, give us just a minute. Let's answer this question that's up here on the screen. Then we'll give you a few moments and we'll come back to you. How about that?
Perfect.
All right. So whenever you come back on the screen, I'll take you off in a second. Whenever you come back on, just give me the thumbs up. I'll see you and we'll pull you back up for the end. All right.
All right. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Okay, and it's been awesome.
No, that's fine. I'm sure we're going to get you right back here in just a second. But look at Jonathan's question at the bottom of the screen real fast for you take off too much, right?
Yeah.
So Kyler had the most rushing yards of any quarterback while he was at his time in Arizona.
Yes.
Now, for us in Arizona, now, I mean, I shouldn't even say us because it sounds like I think I'm on the team or something. I couldn't be on a football team.
I say
maybe a water boy or something. But But
And Waterboy was pretty good at football. Let's be honest.
that's true. That's true.
Mama said that.
Here we go. Waterboy quotes now. Is this what this show has become? Waterboy quotes. But anyway, so we were concerned in Arizona. We didn't want Kyler running as much because he's small, and those great big linemen would just kill him. Every time he'd run, we would all like hold our breath and like do this at the screen, like, oh my God, he's running again. What do you think's going to happen when Kyler Murray takes off running in Minnesota? And is that what you want? Do you want him to run first or pass first?
Pass first. I want him to always be looking down the field, and then that run as an extra threat. I don't want him to just constantly be running RPOs. You don't have the Jalen Hurts body, push style, just smashing yourself. I think he's got to be careful. Similar to Bryce Young. Use the legs when you can. You are fast, but you're not as fast as when you first got into the league. It's some surgeries, and so calm down on that. You have a lot of receivers. Kevin O'Connell will draw you up amazing pass routes. And so, and one thing that I will say with Kyler is he is constantly looking downfield. When you kind of look at those plays, he's not a takeoff, guy first, unless that's kind of the directive. It seemed like he is kind of always trying to keep his eyes downfield. But when he sees something wide open, and if Kevin O'Connell sees something wide open, I've seen him not afraid to call it with JJ McCarthy, kind of when he did the little gritty into the Cowboys end zone last year. That was a called little run RPO for the quarterback. And I think that can be utilized quite a bit. And, people say like, oh, Kevin hasn't been with anybody like no one similar to a dual threat. But, he really helped Daniel Jones out. And Daniel Jones didn't even have to play any starting games. And that's what I mean about learning from Kevin O'Connell and the O'Connell system without having to be a starter. You could be in the backgrounds and the back scenes grinding with the boys, practicing and learn just as much those first couple years, and then, pour the fire. But yeah, rushing, I'll take some, but not all, because I don't want them plastered. Right.
Okay, so I tell you what, just hang out right there. I was going to let you go, but we're almost done here, so just stay with us for a second, all right? So
I'm plenty good.
First of all, William, don't worry about it, man. Better late than never. We don't care if you're late. You're good. Thank you for joining in with us, buddy. You're one of our regulars, and we appreciate it very much. So, Cheese, let me go to you for a second and ask this, buddy. So where do you see the Vikings at in the NFC North standings at the end of the season? And then I'm going to ask Mr. New the same question here. Where do you see the Vikings at in the NFC North at the end of the season?
God, that's so tough because there's so many unknowns. We don't even know if Kyler Murray's going to play well. He could play terrible. We don't know if the offensive line's going to stay healthy.
All right, so let's make some assumptions, Chiefs. Let me help you out. I'll make some assumptions.
Okay.
We'll say Kyler Murray does play well. Kyler Murray plays above average. That's how we'll say it. All right. Mixes with his receivers pretty well, and Kevin O'Connell seems to really like the system. If all of those things fall into place, where do you see the Vikings in that division with your Packers, the Bears, and the Lions?
Well, they won 9 games without good quarterback play last year, minus, week 1 when 9 won the NFC Player of the Week. But I'd say second. If that happens, I think they finish second.
Yeah, I'm kind of same in there with the second or third. Because I'm balancing it with the pack. You know what I mean? I hate to say this. I'm so sorry, Cheese. I do got the Bears number 1. You know what I mean?
I have them.
They're a rolling train for me right now. I got a little confidence in them, but I do the second and third spot is going to probably be the Packers or the Vikings, in my opinion. And there's, like you said, there's a lot of things up in the air with the Vikings. It's the questionable things with Kyler, the questionable things with the line. Is things going to meld and do well? And then with the Pack, what I'm wondering is Josh Jacobs going to get any time off? Is Mike Parsons, when how long will he be back fully healthy? And those are some important pieces, I think, to your guys' puzzle, especially the Josh Jacobs part. And so that part does concern me a little bit with the Packers. But other than that, I think getting Kraft back and the rest, they're going to be humming always, as it comes when the cold weather starts coming along.
Okay, now, second to last question here. It'll be this question and one more, buddy, and then we'll let you go here. which team do you think specifically will give the Vikings the hardest time? Will it be the Lions? Will it be Chiefs Packers? Or do you really want to make Cheese's head explode and say the Bears?
I'm really sorry, dude.
No, sorry, be honest. Just be that's fine. I disagree with you, but yeah, be
the
honest.
Bears and Packers, because Kyler doesn't like cold weather. Is what I hear a lot. Well, he doesn't. I don't know if he likes it or not yet, but he hasn't experienced it. And there's an old story a long time ago when the Vikings played one of the coldest games at TCL Stadium. Russell Wilson, he wanted to give up in that playoff game, and it was the rest of his team that kind of fired him up. He was like, it's just too cold, man. This is terrible. And so when you get over to Lambeau in the middle of winter, or you get down to Windy City in the middle of the winter, those games, do concern me a little more. I think the Vikings, I think they don't have to play as late as usual with the Packers, but I think the Bears might be a little later, and that's why I'm a little more concerned with that is all.
All right, so Out of Rhythm Fantasy Sports puts this up here. He's one of our newest friends here. We have, we're trying to get a bunch of friends of the show, and they help us all out, and we repost and stuff for each other and all that good stuff. We love it when they come on here with us. Who would you rather have? Drew, okay, go ahead, Cheese. Give me the name, because I'm going to screw it up. Go ahead.
That's not how you spell it.
Master Maker.
That's not how you spell it. Let me see.
Okay, well, I thought it was just me. I was like, what?
No.
What?
Oh my God.
So do we know? Is it the Nussmacher guy from the Giants?
Are you talking, if he's talking about
Nuttmeyer or Nuss, the new guy that they drafted just this year?
Yeah.
Is he talking about Nussmeyer's drafted by the Chiefs in the 7th round? Is that who you're taling about?
Yeah.
I
think
assume
that's
we'll let him respond back to us, but yeah.
I would rather, if it's Nussmeier at this point, I don't know. Nussmeier is one of those it projects to be a solid backup. Doesn't have any big tools. McCarthy is upside. They're very different. So it depends what you want. If you want a backup, you want a guy you behind Mahomes, yeah, then you want Nussmeier. If you want maybe a high upside guy, probably never going to get there, but maybe down the road because he's got talent like McCarthy, then you want McCarthy.
Right, and that's why I think McCarthy should be used. That's perfect. You put it perfectly.
Thank you. To answer John's question, Rashawn Gary is garbage. He's one of the worst players.
He said, no, bro, we got the wrong player. Not Garrett Nussmeier. Garrett, that's his first name. I don't know.
Oh, it's Garrett.
I forgot it. It rolls off the tongue later. I look at all those guys earlier and I messed it up.
All right, well, we'll make sure we get to our
okay. He's talking. Okay, he's talking about Drew Messamaker. Okay, he's still in college. Oklahoma State quarterback. So he meant.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, right now, Messamaker probably because we've seen what JJ so far, but it's so far away, and I look forward to seeing him in Oklahoma State this year because he is. He was a big get for them. So I'd look forward to watching him this year.
All right. How about this one from John?
Yes, I mean, I think that in this vertical scheme that we got over from the Dolphins, Jordan Mason looked really good. I do think Aaron Jones is going to get his. You know what I mean? But I think I think Aaron Jones will have volume in passing. But as always, I do worry about his health. And I think one thing that Kevin could do is kind of maybe limit his snaps. And I think they are going to do that and balance it out more with having Jordan Mason kind of take over half of that role. And, a lot of the in between the 20s type stuff maybe could have some more Aaron Jones. But when you're looking goal line and you're going to be rushing there, I think it's going to be more Jordan Mason.
And of course, Out of Rhythm Fantasy Sports. We know you're not trolling us. It's fine. We got you, buddy. No
yeah,
problem.
I didn't realize you was talking about a college squad. I was like, that name sounds familiar. I was like, yeah, that's Oklahoma State guy. Yeah, I can't wait to a deep dive on quarterbacks this year because it's just such a loaded class. I just can't wait.
All right, it's gonna be great, dude. And that's why I think the Vikings, if they do, hang on to JJ a little longer into the year, and maybe another team wants them to look into that because of the deep quarterback class next year. Sorry about that wind, guys.
Mm-hmm. No, you're good. We can't hear the wind, actually. We're good. So Mr. New, last thing for me. I don't know if Cheese wants to add anything to the end, but this will be a last thing for me. I know we have tried to get you on this show many times, and this interview honestly just solidifies my resolve to have you do a podcast and join us right here on the All Gloves Off Sports Media roster. We'll talk about that off air, but we finally got you on the show, and you agreed to join us from a special place for a special person in your life. You're also going to participate in our first annual Lights Out Fantasy Football Charity Challenge. So I'm going to give you the floor for a minute, buddy. Explain to our audience where you are, why it's important to you, and what charity you'll be playing for in that fantasy football charity challenge. Go ahead, buddy.
Absolutely. And like when we take that second break, I'll try to get over there. Like I said, it's only a block away, but the American Cancer Society has been so helpful. Nothing but a dream come true. So that's who I selected, and I selected that, and why it's a dream come true for myself and stuff. Why they're so helpful personally is my wife is going through. She's fighting stage 4 cancer. So we're both fighting really hard, and we go down to the cities, to the University of Minnesota, once every 2 weeks. It's about a 5-hour drive, and I make sure to take her every other week, and sometimes 2 or 3 days. And those hotels were getting to be, $540 every other week. And she can't work, and we're going on about 2 years now of her fighting it, and it really starts to get hard. And the place that we're at is called the Hope Lodge. And after contacting the Cancer Centers of America, they also got her signed up for going to sporting events and things like that. She just absolutely loves the Lynx. She loves the Vikings. She just loves sports, and she just so great. And it's part of the reason I don't know, man, I got more into the Vikings and stuff is because of her teaching me things about patience and fighting and wanting to win and be a champion and have a champion's mentality and a heart for the team, and to watch until the very end, not just to give up, not just to holler for the next guy, but to have some faith. And she's like my hero. And I know that sounds like generic, but it's true. And it's hard to watch my hero go through this. It's really hard. And so
you can't make me cry on podcast. Okay, you can't do it. All right, stop it. No, but
the good story, the Cancer Centers of America swooped in just last week because she was having such a hard time eating, bellyache, just everything. Brought in whole staff with them, and they had what was that restaurant? Gosh, I can't think of the name of it, but they had the all these meats and potatoes and gravy, and it's corn. It's the one with the cinnamon butter with the biscuits. I can't remember that place.
That's Texas Roadhouse.
Yes, Roadhouse. So they had the whole Roadhouse, and they worked with Texas Roadhouse, and the whole Roadhouse crew came here too, and everybody had the American Cancer Society stuff on, and I was blown away, man. I was just blown away. It's one of those things that you watch on TV kind of, and then when you're there in real life, it's just surreal. And like I said, she was able to eat. It's really good food, and yeah, I'm so grateful.
All right, so you've got some reactions over here. We'll keep them coming here for a second. Yes, absolutely. I saw Cheese put his hands together. Yes, we're praying for your wife. We're praying for your family. I know we've all had some people who have gone through some similar stuff and everything else. So we'll put those things up there as they come in. Cheese, can you do me a favor? Can you talk about this? When are we going to do this draft? What kind of draft's it going to be? Let's talk about that for just a moment, because I'm really looking forward to this draft on Sunday.
Yeah, this Sunday we're doing a fantasy football draft with content creators, and we all putting in money. The winner will go to their charity. So we're all doing that this Sunday. We're doing no defenses, no kickers, because I hate kickers.
What? No kickers?
No kickers. See, here's the problem with kickers. You can't do it in fantasy football anymore, because with the cue ball, everyone's kicking 60-yard kicks. You can have a kicker score 27 points in a week. You can't have that. So.
That's been my biggest conundrum as a GM. Like, what do you do about that, right?
Kick them out. No defense. There's no reason to have team defense. No reason to have kickers. So, gone. So, yeah, we're doing it, and we'll do it for charity as well.
I love it.
That's this Sunday. I think start at 6 Eastern.
Oh, and I wanted to say thank you to John in the comments, and I'm really glad that they made it out. Thank you.
Yeah, he's talking about John here. Let me pull it back up real fast. 12 years ago, he says, doing great now. That's fantastic, and we hope that your lovely wife does the same thing, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man.
It's about the Grand Theft Auto comment. Okay.
So I know you said earlier, I think, that you're like, okay, when I come back, so we usually just have the guests come on for the first segment of the show. We're going to do MLB, and then we'll do some more football. But please, man, we will keep in contact. We'll have you on Sunday when we do our live draft. We'll do some more exchanging through text and DM and stuff like that, making sure that we get everything put together for you. Thank you very much for being on with us, Mr. New. I do want you, before you go, though, give us your socials one more time so that people who are rooting for you and your wife and everyone else can get in touch with you if they need to. Go ahead, buddy. What we got?
Absolutely. And thanks for having me on. I was just about to actually say I only got 5% here, and next time I'll be in probably in my office, so it'll look a lot brighter with kind of like you guys got. But yeah, you can always find me Soda New, SOTAKNEW, or Mr. New, MRKNEW, and that's on YouTube, X, whether it's TikTok, all over the place. The only ones I don't really use is the Facebook and Instas and all that stuff, but the rest of the major media platforms, Twitch, all of them. I am there and I am square. All
right, man. I certainly appreciate it. Cheese, I know you do too. Any final thoughts for Mr. New before we let him go, buddy?
Yeah. You're wrong about the Bears, and so is William. And they're going to be one of the teams that really regresses this year.
Really? I was wondering, why do you think so? Just quick before we go. Why do you think the Bears, why are you so down on them?
Okay. Well, first of all, they played a last place schedule last year. They're playing a first place schedule this year. And the second thing is they won 6 games, where they were down 1 score at the 2-minute warning, right? They won 6 of those. The average NFL team wins 2 a year.
Dude, you're right about that. Because I remember when Kirk had the fool's gold.
Gave them 2 games. They had 2 3-score leads at halftime. And Matt LaFleur, being the biggest idiot out there, gave them those games. So I'm just looking at this. Like, if they win half of those, guess what? They won 8 games and finished dead last. I look at, they won so many close games in the fourth quarter. You're not going to always win those.
I forgot about that. They did have a lot of comeback. They were the comeback kings, so they called them, right? Last year. Yeah.
And the best example I can give, it's not going to be this extreme, but the Chiefs won every close game 2 years ago, won 15-2, and they lost every close game last year, won 6 games. I don't think it's that extreme, but the point I'm trying to make is if the Bears win half of those this year, they're just as good. They'll win 8, and they would have been last place if they just went half of those games. So I'm just looking at that, and their front 7 is bad.
That's a great point, Cheese.
It's not a good front 7.
The Vikings did it with Kirk. Yeah. Remember, they had the biggest comeback game and the other comeback games, and the catch and all that. That year, the Vikings had all those 1-score games, and everybody told us, "Oh, that's fool's gold. You're not going to make it." Sure enough, went to the playoffs, got smoked by the Giants, and that was the end of that.
Weren't even that great.
So I went to that game because I thought it was a guaranteed win.
Yeah.
They fooled me. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Once again, thank you very much, buddy.
And good luck.
Appreciate you. Good luck to you and your wife. When you get back up to the room, make sure you tell her that we're praying for her and yourself as well, the rest of your family too. So thank you very much for being on.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. We'll have you on again sometime soon, buddy.
Sounds great. Later, guys.
Thanks, bud.
Later.
All right, let's get back to – there we go. Get back to that screen. All right, man. I like that, Mr. New.
He's cool dude. Yeah, we've been talking with him for a while, so
we've been trying to get him on. I'm glad we finally got him on here with us. Great guy. I know his family's going through a lot, and we are with them every single step of the way. So I think we're going to do a good thing here with the fantasy football challenge as well, that charitable challenge. So everybody's going to put $25 in the pot. Somebody will win. We'll give the majority of the money to the first place. We'll give a little bit to second and a little bit to third, so that they can have money to put into their favorite charities. We'll talk about that on Sunday when everything comes into play there. Let's do a couple things real quick, Cheese. College football, it starts this coming week. Yes, he is. We'll get to that here in a few moments.
Well, it used to be.
So go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Let me pull the graphic up here real fast. Let me see if I have it on here. Yes, we've got it right here. So let me get to where I need to go and take the top off this again, as we always say here. So there's the week 0 games. It's saying by excitement. Cheese, I don't know about you, but I'm really not excited for any of these games. What do you think? Is there anything that really piques your interest that you're like, okay, I've got to watch this game this weekend?
The one that stands out is TCU, North Carolina, what TCU did to them last year. Everyone was hyping up Belichick is at UNC. They're going to be amazing. Like Michael Jordan was there. All these alums were there. And then TCU just obliterated them. And I just loved it. No, none of these really are going to get me too excited. I will watch a lot of them, though. I just watch college football, but this is pretty crappy lineup for week 0.
Yeah, but is that the way to go as far as college football goes? I mean, we all know that people are going to watch. So why do you give them something fantastic in week 0 when we all know that they're going to watch anyway? Is giving them a not so great lineup like this, is that the way to go?
It'd be nice to have at least maybe some. I guess a lot of teams. I see Virginia, NC State. That's a conference game. Most of these aren't conference games. A lot of teams don't want to do that. They want to cupcake the first one. They don't want to do a conference game. So I wish there was more of that. At least it's like a little rival. Like that NC State Virginia game can mean a lot later on. We won't know till later. But that one, might mean something in the ACC standings. But yeah, I just wish there was more, at least cool matchups. Doesn't have to be like number 3 versus number 6, but it could be just maybe number 18 versus number 24, and they're in the same conference. Something like that would be better.
Okay. The other part of this, Cheese, and we've seen this before, if you schedule a game in the first 2 to 3 weeks, right, and then even if you lose that game, the committee and people seem to kind of forget about it as the season wears on, right? So wouldn't it be smarter to schedule a big-time game in the first week or 2?
Probably. I think it's how you finish is more important. Definitely college basketball, but yeah, the only thing with that is you might not know what you have. A lot of teams don't want to do that. They don't want to schedule their hardest opponent or hardest non-conference because they want like a cupcake first, see what you have. They want to evaluate players because there is no preseason. But I would, I'd love to see it. But the problem with college football is they have big weeks and small weeks. Like week 1's going to be amazing. There's going to be some big ones. And then you'll have a lot of teams like week 2, 3 will play no one. And that's one of the issues I have with college football. Sometimes there's 5 big games one week and 1 the next.
Okay. So again, we got Out of Rhythm Fantasy Sports. Thank you guys for coming on with us and putting some comments up here. We hope everyone else does the same thing that's with us right now. I think week 0 might be going away before we know it. Have a second one up here from them as well. There's a lot of nice games here, even if it's just week 1. Not sure if I really agree with them. But last one here, North Dakota State. I'll be watching. Then he's got the fire emojis after it. We've got one more that we need to get to here. Belichick gets boat raced by TCU. Lombardi on leave. His son on leave. Could get ugly early for Coach Bill.
Yeah, I don't know what UNC was thinking. He was a name. I guess they thought they could recruit. He's in his 70s and his 20-some-year-old girlfriend it's all about her. She's drawing all the attention. It's just a mess. It's not working. And they weren't going to get rid of him after year 1, after all this, but UNC is desperate. They just wanted to win, and they took a shot, and I think it's going to be an absolute disaster.
All right, Cheese. So as always, we do it every year. We are going to do a college football preview. Tell our fans, buddy, when are we going to do it, and where can they catch us at?
I think we're going to do it Monday.
Yes, we're going to do it Monday.
I think
you seem so confident in yourself, sir.
I don't know what time you want to.
Same time as what we do our regular show. So for me, 6 o'clock. 8 for you. 7.
8. 8.
Is it 8 for you? Okay, I'm
8
sorry.
For you. It's 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, and we'll do a college football special. We'll do predictions, major conferences. We'll pick the college football playoff, and we'll pick a sleeper team in each conference. And you got to give Mike credit. His sleeper team was Duke in the ACC last year. I made fun of him for it, and then they won the ACC.
Well, even a blind squirrel gets a nut every once in a while, sir. So we're good. This is going to be a packed few days for us. So we're going to do the draft on Sunday, where we do the charitable draft on Sunday afternoon. We're then going to turn around Monday night and do the college football preview. And then, of course, our regular show on Tuesday. So 3 days in a row, you get to see us or maybe put up with us or however you want to.
We apologize. We apologize ahead of time.
Yes, we do. All right, buddy. So lights out trivia here. Presented by Hit Machine Sports Cards and Collectibles, as they are now offering branding kits and designs. They offer great quality banners, logos, templates, and designs, as well as a unique brand identity and comprehensive brand strategy. You can follow them on X at Hitmachine HQ, and then send them a DM and let them know what you would like for them to work on, and I'm sure he will send you back a fantastic price. He's helping us with some stuff right now. You'll see us kind of move the logo around a little bit. We got some stuff coming here for you, and we are working with at Hitmachine HQ on X in order to do that. Cheese, Kevin McGonigal has an OPB, on base plus slugging percentage, of 380. Here's the trivia, sir. Who are the only other two AL rookies to have a higher on base plus slugging in the last 15 years? So
I think you just mean on base, because 380 is terrible for on base plus slugging. I think you just mean on base percentage, right?
You know what? You are right. It is just on base.
I was going to say that's really bad. He's terrible. Yeah. I was like, okay. Yeah.
That's fine. I said it wrong, but
that's a tough question.
Yeah, so two AL rookies. Remember, it's in the last 15 years. Both of them are still in the AL, by the way. Both of them still play for the same teams they debuted with as well.
Nick Kurtz, is Nick Kurtz one of them?
No, Nick Kurtz is not.
He won it last year.
You have to go back to 2017 for the first one.
Oh, gosh. You'd probably have to give me the team.
Well, if I give you the team, you're really going to. How about this? They were pinstripes.
We're pinstripes. Judge?
Yes, Aaron Judge. 2017, he had a 422 on base. Really hot.
Incredible. He's incredible.
Yeah. Incredible. Really well, we got this, by the way, from MLB Stats. You can go to at MLB Stats. This is where these came from.
Yordan is the other one? Yordan Alvarez?
No, not Yordan, because we're going to go back even further. 2012 for this guy. AL, still plays for the same team. We keep thinking he's going to get traded every year, and he does
Trout.
Not. Yes. Mike Trout.
Okay.
$3.99 back in 2012. So once again, that is our Lights Out Sports Trivia presented by Hit Machine Sports Cards and Collectibles. All right. 4-pitch talk is what we need to go to. But, of course, before we do that, Cheese, we got to give everybody hang on. We got one over here. I want to make sure I get it before we go to the next one, college football preview. I want to see some detailed breakdowns. Okay. We will, actually. It'll be a good show, and
both are big college football fans. So
yes, we are. And you know what? If you play your cards right there, out of Rhythm Fantasy Sports, maybe we'll have one of you gentlemen on the show before it's all said and done. So,
play your cards right.
Yeah, play your cards right. I don't know what that.
I think he's talking about the Mac.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where the show goes.
Yeah, we don't do the Mac. No, we don't do the Mac.
All right, Cheese is just going to say no. So, okay, fine. Be that way, buddy. But what we've got to do here is we got to get the graphic up. We got to get the music going, because this, ladies and gentlemen, is 4-pitch talk. Man, here we go. We're switching in to a different gear because we're going to MLB. We're going to shorten this up a little bit. Yeah, that was the reference to the fantasy, not to. Okay, we'll talk about it later. Oh man, we don't want you to be out of rhythm when you're drawing cards. And anyway, yeah, I think I'm just digging myself a bigger hole as I continue to talk. So maybe I should just
move on in this segment. Just
move on, right? Just move on. Yeah, I don't think
we're not going to talk. We're not going to talk about Bowling Green.
Okay. We might talk about teams that would bowl over Bowling Green, but we're not going to talk about.
We should do a whole show on McNeese State.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Maybe we'll do that before it's all said and done.
UT Martin.
Okay. So we've got 3 things here in the MLB 4-pitch talk. I know you're like, well, it's called 4-pitch talk. We do usually have 4. We knew we were going to have the guest on. We wanted to give Mr. New a ton of time because he has been gracious with us in the past. So we're going to shorten this down a little bit. 3 MLB questions, a couple 3 NFL questions, and then we'll do, of course, how we end every show, which is the after we do Term Talk, we'll do Batting Cleanup, presented by ForwardFan.com. So, I want to start off this way. And I'm going to say clip, and everybody's just going to be like, what? That's to get the recording done so we can do a short here. So, all right, just so everybody knows. So, clip. Cheese, I promised we would look at the 3rd person in the MVP race in Major League Baseball. Mason Miller, sir, needs to be in this conversation. When he comes in a ball game and they have the lead, and this is with every pun intended because it is lights out for the opposition. He has a 3.2 WAR, a 4-1 record, a minuscule .81 ERA with 32 saves. He has faced 210 batters, so it's not a small sample size. Only 25 of those 210 have even gotten a hit off of him. Only 20 of them have drawn a walk, and yet he's struck out 101 of them, having them go back to the dugout, shaking their head with their tail between his legs. He has yielded 5 earned runs and 0, none, zilch, not a one of a home run. He is the MVP for his team, no doubt, and he should be in consideration for the National League MVP. So, Cheese, what do you think about Mason Miller and his legitimacy for MVP?
Absolutely not. None. He's a pitcher. They have their own award. It's Cy Young. So he shouldn't be in MVP at all just because of that. But even so, a guy that pitches maybe 1 inning, a lot has to happen to even get a chance to get a save. Those are dominant numbers. It's incredible. But no, I don't think he should get an MVP vote at all.
Wow. Not any.
No, he's got Cy Young. Okay. If he wants to get Cy Young votes, that's fine. But I would still vote for Mizorowski or Chris Sale ahead of him because I think starters are more valuable than relievers. But no, MVP, not at all. I don't think pitchers should be MVPs ever. They have their own award. MVP should be hitter. Cy Young is pitcher.
So then, is it held against him that he only appeared in 55.1 innings? And you're saying yes, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He pitches the 9th inning, when his team's ahead or tied probably. And that's it. So like I said, if he comes in a game, he's up 5-2. Well, his team scored 5 runs for him, and the starting pitcher probably did very well to give him an opportunity to get that save. So it's just, I don't think it's as valuable as a starting pitcher.
Okay, I can't disagree with you more.
I know you disagree. I know you are.
I mean, so how many times have you watched a game, Cheese, and you lead for 8 innings, and then you put in the closer who gives it up, especially if it's a home run hit or something like that? You're just like, really? We did all this work for this guy to come in and just blow it all for us. When Mason Miller comes into a game, Cheese, and you know this as well as I do, you don't want to, whether it's the Braves or the Cubs or any other team, they don't want to face Mason Miller. How can you not put him in this conversation knowing those facts?
Spoken like someone who knows watches a lot of Diamondbacks, that first part. I mean, yeah, he's the best closer in the game. He's amazing. But as far as MVP, most valuable player in the game, no way. Stars are more valuable. Position players play every day. 55 innings total. You can't give an MVP to someone who pitches 55 innings. You just can't.
So is he the MVP of his team?
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Okay. So PCA is the MVP of his team. Shohei Ohtani is the MVP of his team. That's what the MVP means, right? The most valuable player on that particular team, and then how well that team does as a whole, right?
Those 2 players you mentioned play every day, and they can really hit. So I think that's a big difference, and I think it should be a hitter's award, like I said. We totally agree to disagree on this one. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so let's do it this way then. rank the three. Ohtani, Miller, PCA, or is there somebody, since you don't like this Miller comp I've got for you here, is there somebody in your mind that should be in this that I'm not thinking of?
I would put Matt Olson third of the Braves, and then I put Shohei Ohtani second and then PCA first.
Okay, so mine would go, I would still put PCA at first. I think he's going to win it, and honestly, I think he deserves to win it. I just wanted to put Mason Miller because I think he's the second guy. And I would put Ohtani at third. Now,
okay.
I will say this. If Ohtani comes back, the way they're talking, and if he kind of wills them being the Dodgers, and he gets them some more wins, and he keeps hitting like he is, I might push him up to 2, even though I don't like him. I don't like this whole thing. And by the way, I'll be doing a thing on the Sports Pulpit here in the next week or so about the Dodgers and how Dodger fans should be really, really worried right now. We'll get to that later. Something that I was going to do tonight, but we just don't have time to do it. So Houston Astros the same way. I wanted to talk about the Houston Astros tonight. We're not going to have time. I've already written it out. It'll be Thursday on the Sports Pulpit. We'll have the Houston Astro one as well. Next week, I'm going to look at the Rookie of the Year in the AL too. So
okay.
We'll close up the MLB MVP talk here. We'll move on to our second one because, again, we're a little crunched on time, so I want to make sure we get to everything. We were on this much faster than the national media last week. We said that no team in any sport should have a team below 500 rewarded by making it to the playoffs. The Texas Rangers lead the American League West with a 66-66 record. But that's not all, Cheese. The Cleveland Guardians, as of yesterday, I don't know what's happened today, but as of yesterday, if the season ended yesterday, they would have the final wild card spot, and they would have a 66-66 record. That means two teams would make it to the AL playoffs that are not above 500. Will having a team under 500 make you not watch the playoffs, Cheese?
No, I don't think that will be a thing. It's not going to make me not watch it, but it's going to make you think this team doesn't deserve it. I mean, this happens sometimes. Like the National League is just stronger this year than the American League. So you're going to have a team, either the Padres or Diamondbacks is probably not going to make it. And they're going to be 6, 7, maybe 10 games over 500 and miss it. And then you might have a team that's around 500, even below in the AL that makes it. It just happens sometimes. But it's not going to make me not want to watch the postseason.
Jonathan agrees. PCA for MVP. Wanted to get that in there real quick. So kind of sticking on this, 500 or better record deal here. 4 of these 5 teams that are in the AL West, those would be Seattle, Houston, Texas, and Anaheim. All are in large markets. You know me, I've always said I don't like the whole large market, small market terminology. But shouldn't these teams be better than this? Shouldn't they be spending more money than this? And doesn't it say when we talk about our collective bargaining agreement, we'll do that after the season is over. We are going to have a special on it. Does that mean there should be a floor to spending money and not just a cap?
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that when we do a whole CBA special. But the Astros fired their GM because he's mismanaging the team. He's done a poor job. Every time he goes out and gets pitching, it's a disaster. That Imai guy, I think is like the Asian pitcher they signed. He lost his starting job real quick. So I just think maybe mismanaged. The Mariners are the big shocking one that their lineup just collapsed compared to last year. But the Angels were rebuilding. We knew that. But it's just a weak division. It's just got a lot of teams that are just not that good.
All right. So, Cheese, you and I both picked Seattle to win the division. I think they're still the most talented team in that division. And I think especially if Cal Raleigh gets hot, he hit 3 home runs yesterday, and we'll talk more about him here in the final segment. They will still win this division because they're only 3 games out. What do you think? Are you still saying that Seattle could win this division, or are you out on them yet?
I mean, they could, of course. I mean, I think it's like 4 teams could still maybe win it. But I predicted Houston to make the postseason. And they had about a month ago, they had gained first place. They were playing well, and they have just been awful lately. And now Texas is in first place. So I don't know. I mean, that division, who knows? Whoever gets hot, or I shouldn't say that. Whoever doesn't suck the most is probably going to win. It looks like the Astros and Rangers are tied for first. How are the Astros tied for first? They keep losing.
Well, it means that means Texas lost today and the Astros won today. That's how close they are back and forth. So
Angels and Athletics are out of it, so it's between those three. Yeah, so Seattle's only 3 out, 6 games under 500, but they could still make it. They could still win the division. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Cheese, if we would have a sub 500 team make the playoffs, what would your solution be to that? Or would you just let it play out? And I mean, it's the first time that it would ever happen in Major League Baseball history that a sub 500 team would get into the playoffs. Are you just going to say, okay, it's a one-off thing, it's probably never going to happen again? Or would you try to come up with some solution?
Well, they expanded the playoffs. They've done it a couple times, and that's why it's never happened before. It's because it used to be you had to win the pennant. It was 4 teams in each. Then they did 5. Now they do, what is it? Yeah, 6 now.
Yeah. Which,
honestly, I kind of like 4. The regular season mattered more. 5 was stupid because you won a game, you're done. Like that's dumb. Now I get why they went to 6. So 6 is probably better than 5, but they keep expanding the playoffs. It's bound to happen eventually. And if you make a rule, then you can't make it. Then what are you going to do? Take an extra NL team, put them in the AL? So I don't know what the solution is. So I think it's just something you're going to have to live with.
Well, I do have a solution.
Okay.
But I'm not going to tell you now. I'm going to tell you later on this week in the Sports Pulpit. I do have a solution, though. Tune in to us. We'll be getting all that done here in the next few days. Again, we're a little pressed on time, so I'm going to make sure that we kind of run the gamut. I want to get to your NFL stuff because we got some crazy stuff happening in the NFL as well. And we got one more thing here in MLB. This should be an interesting discussion. Cheese, every third and first base coach has a box that they are not supposed to step out of. Last night, in the Cubs versus Diamondbacks games, Cub third baseman Quentin Berry could clearly
Third base coach, right?
Third base coach, yes. Quentin Berry could clearly be seen getting right up towards the edge of that box and looking at the glove of Diamondback starting pitcher Merrill Kelly and then relaying the pitches to the Cubs person on second base so that they could relay them to the hitter. Is this cheating or is it a competitive advantage, Cheese?
This is just one of those really tough topics that it's been talked about. We see players at second base will touch a leg on this, that the pitcher's going inside out. We see it all the time. It's just it's one of those things a lot of people say if you're not trying to do it, then the other team will. I don't like that it's in the game. I wish there was a way to stop it, but that's the reason they made the first and third base coaches stay in that box. Mm-hmm. They were moving the boxes so they get a better angle, or they get angle to sign to their player. They re-showed it multiple times, and I watched on X again. It looked like he was doing that, and like they're saying every time Merrill Kelly threw a changeup, right?
Right. Well, he throws Merrill Kelly thought.
Yeah, he throws a lot of changeups. So.
He does.
So you're going to guess changeup more often than not, but yeah, it looked like he was doing it. I don't like it, but every team has done some form of this, and so. But I understand why the Diamondbacks were pissed.
I mean, if you watch it close, and again, I know that you have. So when Barry knew he was throwing the changeup, he would. I don't want to get up and back away. He was shooting his left arm down. You could clearly see it. And then
looking at Merrill Kelly's grip. He was looking at his grip in the glove. Yeah.
Correct. So it was happening. I mean, it's not like it wasn't happening. You could clearly see it. The Diamondbacks bench, especially Jeff Bannister, who used to manage way back in the day, was barking up a storm and saying things across the dugout like you did on your show this afternoon when you didn't like the uniforms. So after the game, in the post conference, D-backs manager Torey Lovello called it gamesmanship And he went on to say, I want to keep that between me and the Cubs. In other words, what he discussed with the Cubs, he wanted to keep it private between the two teams. Is that the way to handle it?
Yes. I think, yes, that's absolutely the way to handle it. It looked like to me the assistant coaches were the ones screaming at each other.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the Cubs. Oh, what's that guy's name? Cubs bench coach was the one screaming F-bombs at the.
Yeah.
So it was this. Yeah. I think Torey Lovullo handled it very well.
All right. So after the game, I watched both post conferences. Torey Lovullo was asked about it pretty much right away. Craig Counsell was never asked about it, as far as Cubs reporters that I saw, nor did he comment on it. So you know the Cubs side of it better than I do. Why wouldn't a reporter ask him about it? Why did they? Is it that they let him off the hook? Was it that they knew he was stealing signs and they didn't want to bring it up? Why do you think nobody from the Cubs side asked Craig Counsell about it after the game?
So you watched it? I didn't. I not watched that at all.
Yeah.
I turned off, went to bed. So I'm sure they were told not to. This is what how modern sports media is. I'm sure that he called in favors and said, "Don't ask him about this," because he didn't want to comment on it. Why would he want to? Of course, he doesn't want to talk about it. So that's why. We know you could lose if you ask questions that a lot of times in organizations, and the Packers are about as guilty of this as anyone else. You might lose access. You ask about certain things. One reporter had the cojones to ask Matt LaFleur after that complete disaster in the playoffs of the Bears, ask him about his job security. And Matt LaFleur is like, wait a minute, this guy, his name is Pete. I don't know who it is, but it's someone named Pete. And he's like, Pete, no, we're not going to talk that now. Like, how dare, you're not supposed to bring that up. You want access to me. And no one else brought it up. And he actually asked it again. And then Matt LaFleur is pissed. So
you may as well double down at that point, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's already asked it. So I think the media was probably told, he doesn't want to talk about it. So don't ask.
Right. Now, we talked earlier about our charities fantasy football sports challenge. I do want to throw it out there. I know Cheese is going to be part of it. You're going to have a team. We got Ohio Sports Talk that's going to have a team. Mr. New is going to have a team. I'm forgetting somebody.
Mr. First Down, probably.
Mr. First Down. There you go. Thank you very much. We know that he is already committed to having a team. So we've got a lot of it together. If you're a content creator and you're listening to this right now and you're like, well, shoot, I want in on this. Just direct message us on our X account, All Gloves Off SM, and we will respond back to you.
Wait,
Cheese.
Hold on. We might have another person. Jed York is out. He said he has to go to a trailer park in Ohio that day to meet somebody. So
Okay,
he is
sorry.
out. So we'll have to get someone to replace the owner of the Niners.
Well, I heard he was in a race to get across the country to see who could get there first because there's a certain quarterback in the Cleveland organization that is upset that you only have to pay like $125 for what he paid thousands of dollars for. So we'll see.
Okay.
Yes, Barry is an experienced player and coach. He's a former outfielder who played for the Tigers, the Red Sox, and the Cubs. He was the Brewers' first base coach from 21 to 24 too. He knows the rules and he knows the game. Do you think that affected what he was trying to do because he knows the rules and he knows the game?
He just needs to be, he knows, but I think he needs to be more subtle about it. That was a little too obvious. He just needs to be more subtle. So, you just don't, it goes on. Every team does it. Probably most teams do it every game somewhat. Just don't make it that obvious.
Right. And I have an update for this story. Jonathan, just like I said, follow us over on X and then do a direct message to me and I'll respond back to you, buddy. Thank you very much for inquiring. So there was Torey Lovullo in the pregame press conference today actually apologized, saying that Merrill Kelly needed to do a better job of making it to where Barry can't steal the signs. Saying that he kind of overblown it the night before and all of that. So Torey Lovullo actually apologized before the game today. Personally, Cheese, I don't like it when you're doing something like this. Like let's say the two of us disagreed on this, right? We disagreed on the Mason Miller thing earlier, but I'm not going to apologize for my opinion. I don't like it when you stick up really hard for your players one day and then you apologize the next day. How do you feel about that?
I mean, you got to stick up for your players. You're a leader. You lead the team. You got to stick up for your players. It's a tricky spot. Being the manager, the head coach of like a football, it's really tricky because you have a lot of different personalities, a lot of different things. There's always controversial stuff. It's a really, really tough job. You're not just doing strategy. You are the leader of the team. There's certain things you can't do, but you should, no matter what, number one, get your players back.
Okay. We'll talk about Torey Lovullo and getting his players back again. I know I keep hyping some stuff that I'm doing here, but I haven't done anything for a few weeks. I'm putting a lot of stuff together this week, slacking off on a few other things that I have kind of committed to myself over the past few weeks because I want to get some of these things out and going. We will talk about the Ketel Marte story as well when it comes to Torey Lovullo and all of that. Something that we really couldn't get to today on the Lights Out Sports podcast, but tune in to the Sports Pulpit later on this week, and I will get to that as well. All right, you probably see me taking some of these things off of here really fast, and I'm doing that because I know that we are going to put something up here on the board real fast for us. Let me get this. Yes, here it is. And our next segment is brought to you by our TikTok account. It is All Gloves Off. Please scan that code if you want to go over to our TikTok account, growing like everything, putting up a ton of videos that you'll see from this show and from our other shows that are in our All Gloves Off network. So again, scan this QR code. I'll give you a few more seconds here. You can go also to @AllGlovesOff. That is where it is on TikTok. Join us, and you'll get a lot of content there as well. So let me take that back off, and then let's do, let me see if I've got it up here. I do not, so that means I need to get it from the other spot, which is fine. So let's do our stat of the show, Cheese. It's presented by our TikTok account that we just put up there, and it is about Cal Raleigh. We got to do this on Cal Raleigh here. I said we were going to talk about him later on in the show, and this is the point to where we are going to do it. Here's the graphic. This took place, Cheese, before last night, because as we talked about, I still think the Mariners are going to win that division. He might get hot, and what I mean by that is, I don't know if you guys saw it, but the man hit 3 home runs in the game last night. Yeah. But before last night, Cal Raleigh hit 60 home runs in 2025, and Cal Raleigh had 54 hits so far in 2026. He had less hits right now than what he had home runs all of last year. Cheese, we've talked about this a couple times, but can you explain this to anybody?
I've never seen anything quite like it. There was a lot of people. Remember when I was doing my fantasy baseball draft, and there were a lot of people saying, do not draft him this high. He's probably going to hit between 32 and 38 homers. He's probably not even going to hit 40. A lot of things went right. Don't draft him that high. No one expected this. I mean, he hit 247 last year. With 60 homer, I mean, and he's hitting 160 maybe, something like that. Like, yeah, I don't know. I know you have some theories, but assuming it's not did anything wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with needles. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with needles. I've never seen anything like this in my life. It's almost like you have to try really hard to be that bad, considering how talented and how good he was the year before. Like, you actually have to be trying to be bad.
But I will say this. I've said it. I talked to a few friends of mine this afternoon when we were talking, and I knew we were going to bring this up on the show. If Cal Raleigh gets hot over these last 30 or so games that the Mariners have, they can come back and win this division. But I think he has to. They're not going to do it if he's batting $160. He's got to be the Cal Raleigh of last year, even if it's just for this last month. And he may be able to carry them all the way through to the next part. So, put that back on here. That's our stat of the show. And now we're going to get into 4-down territory, of course. And this is Cheese's realm, buddy. I know you have put some stuff in for us. I have some really good follow-up questions on some of these things that you're going to talk about. This is going to be an interesting segment. So here we go. right, buddy. You've got some really good stuff. What are we going to talk about here in the next few moments with NFL 4-down territory?
Well, we're going to have to shorten it big time because it's getting really late. So we're going to very quickly now talk about Deshaun Watson getting the starting job. And then I want to talk about what's going on with Daquan Wright, basically quitting the Browns and going back to LSU and what it means, being able to even go, and what it means, all the scenarios that it creates.
Okay, so which one you want to start with?
Let's just quickly talk about this. Deshaun Watson, did not know, missed all of last year with injury. He has been awful when he's played for the Browns. He's not been good at all in practice and preseason. He got named his starting job, got named the starter there. So why do you think they did this? Because there's been a lot of theories thrown out. I have a theory, but I want to know what you think first.
Well, I mean, Deshaun Watson is the veteran of the group, and it's not like Sanders has lit the world on fire, and it's not like, the kid from Oregon has lit the world on fire to where you're like, oh, we have to start this guy or this guy. So I almost think it's by default. What about you?
I honestly think Shadur Sanders hasn't been great, but he's been better, and he's younger. So when in doubt, in these situations, simply you play the younger guy, let him get experience, right? They're not doing that. Someone in the media, Ari Meirov or something, I hope I said that right. He said, oh, well, their first 2 games on the road, let Deshaun Watson go on the road where the fans won't boo him to start. Well, that doesn't make any sense. So let him play so he doesn't get booed. No, that's not even, they're not even trying. Here's what they're doing. He gives them very little chance to win because he's so terrible. And they're trying to tank the whole season and pick first in the draft. They traded Myles Garrett. They won't be as good defensively. They are losing to try to get the first pick. That is what is happening here. There's no reason to play this man at all. There's no reason. When in doubt, do the young guy. So that is what they're doing. The Browns are on the clock.
Well, they're not going to re-sign him. He's under contract for, I believe, 2 or 3 more seasons. But no, it would not be great. I don't want to see this at all, Jonathan.
It's impossible. He's terrible.
I'm not going to say it's impossible. I mean, he was really good when he was with the Texans. He has just, done a bunch of stupid stuff in his personal life and fallen off the face of the earth. He even said really stupid things during the press conference after he was chosen as the start. Actually, it was before he was chosen as the starting quarterback, basically saying that, it wasn't his play on the field, that it was his personal stuff. That's why everybody was booing him. And Shadur Sanders even came out and said you shouldn't boo him. He's trying really hard and he's working really hard. And I would say no to both of them. For me, it's more about character than it is about anything else.
No, they're booing him because he's making all this money. They traded a lot for him, and he's been terrible. That's why they're booing him. That's it. Browns, they're not happy. It was one of the worst moves in NFL history, if not the worst move. And the man that did it still has a job. Some reason he still has the job. I think he's done a little bit better job recently, but that's why they're booing.
Okay.
And there's no reason to put him out there at all.
Jonathan saying that there's humor in this thing, and there is to a certain extent, but I don't know. I would not want to be a Cleveland Browns fan. I mean, I know that, I'm a Bengals fan, and we went through a bunch of crud for so many years, and it's terrible to live in Ohio, especially if you're in a trailer park. Well, never mind.
East Palestine.
Yes. What else you got for us, buddy?
Okay, so we got to talk about speaking of the Browns. I mentioned that tight end Daquan Wright. He was waived by the Browns, not claimed on waivers, so he could go back to LSU. So he played for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, and Lane Kiffin now coaches LSU. Wright had signed an undrafted free agent contract with the Eagles, who waived him, and the Browns claimed him 2 weeks ago. Now, why can Wright go back to college, right? Because a Louisiana judge, by the way, LSU, Louisiana judge, granted,
of course,
this is the terminology I found when I did research for this, a restraining order. I thought that meant something else. That awards Wright with another year of eligibility and allows him to enter the transfer portal despite signing with an NFL team. So this obviously creates a lot of issues. I put a bunch here if you want to add more. Do you want me to go through each one and then we talk about it, or do you just want me to go through it all? What do you want me to do?
Well, we can go through at least a couple of them here. First of all, the restraining order means something different if you're Marcelo Zuna. But so your first one here is should signing an NFL contract or entering the draft affect your college eligibility? Well, if you sign a contract, I don't think you should be able to go back. I mean, that's just my own personal opinion, and the Big Ten is agreeing with us, and it's going to be interesting to see if I think the bigger schools, the SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC, you're all going to say, no, you can't come back. But I do think, Cheese, it's going to be interesting for some of these smaller conferences, and they may say, you know what, we need all the competitive advantage that we can get, so sure, we'll take you back.
Well, LSU don't have a problem with it. LSU clearly doesn't have a problem with it. I think if you, once you sign a contract for sure, you should definitely not be able to go back to college. Once you signed an NFL, and he did, he signed undrafted with the Eagles. That's what I think. The second one is, can a player enter the draft, get drafted, and then before he signs the contract, so maybe in the summer, say, no thanks, Georgia just offered me, say you're like a 5th round pick and you're going to make $500,000-$600,000 a year. And Georgia comes and says, we'll give you $1.3 million. No thanks. So I'm going back to college after I was drafted. So what do you think about that?
Oh, that's a great scenario. So we got drafted. Has he signed with the club yet?
Hasn't signed. To say it's like, a safety, and Georgia lost both their starting safeties to injury and in the spring, and they're like, they call the guy up, he's like, you got 1 year eligibility left, come back and play for us. And he hasn't signed, but he was drafted, say, the 5th round, and you can maybe go back to Georgia for more money. I mean, that's another thing. Like, this judge just has too much power, in my opinion. The judge shouldn't just be able to rule that, but a lot of judges do stuff like this. We talked about the whole Brendan Sorsby thing. That's a topic for another day. But see, that's another problem it creates. This could happen as well now, it seems like.
Wow, that's a great scenario that you just came up with. Here's the thing. If he doesn't sign with the club, I don't necessarily have a problem with him going back, but the NFL's probably got to come up with something, because that team just lost, the 5th round draft pick or the 4th round draft pick or whatever that was. So I don't know if you've got to give them compensation in the next draft, or because you've got to give that NFL team something, don't you? Because they've lost that draft pick.
Two things. Either they give you, like, say, maybe they give you a 6th rounder the next year or something, or you retain the rights to that player, but then you're quitting on the team. Does that team even want you back? If you go for more money, go back to college. It's like, wait, you gave up on us. You made yourself eligible and we drafted you. So even if they retain the rights, that team won't even want the player back. So that could create problems too. And, does a current LSU, here's another one. Does a current LSU player lose his spot now on the team because Daquan Wright is going back on LSU?
Yeah, that's the big problem I have with this whole thing is that has to happen, because there are rules that you can only have so many kids on the team, right? So many scholarships, at least. It's not like there's a 53-man roster or anything like that, but there are still some rules to the college game. And yes, that's going to hurt some other kid. And I don't think a guy that's gone to the NFL and has signed and everything else should get to go back. No.
Yeah, and if LSU is allowed to do it, and other teams are, the other teams are going to do it. They're not going to just let one team go grab NFL players. So is this the end of practice? If teams are allowed to do this, assuming so, is this the end of practice squads? Because most practice squad players make between $250,000 and $500,000 a year. So if you don't make the team, but offered a practice squad spot, you're probably a pretty good college player. You could probably make more than that in NIL, especially if you play a premium position. So is this the end of practice squads as we know it? In the NFL, 16-team practice squads?
Wow. And you've got to have some people on the practice squad to cover up for injury, because those guys have got to know the system. And, man, you're really coming up with some good stuff here, buddy.
Well, let me give you an example. You're a Bengals
Sure.
fan. Let's say they have 2 tight ends on the practice squad, right?
Okay.
And they both get plucked by the NCAA the same week, and then their top 2 tight ends get injured for the Bengals that week, and they don't have a tight end to just put on the active roster that knows the offense. They have to sign someone off the street who hasn't been with the team all off season, has not been on the practice squad. You know what I'm saying? So, and a tight end's a position where you're involved in the passing game and the running game. You block a lot. You have to know what your assignments are. So you could just have a full practice squad, and then a college team could just call you up and just start plucking teams off of it. That's another scenario.
So does this mean the NFL is going to have to start paying their practice squad people more money?
But right now, practice squads, a lot of people don't know this, they count toward the salary cap. So if you do that, then you can't play your other players as much. A lot of teams don't like to play their practice squad guys much. Yeah, it counts toward the salary cap.
I did not know that the practice squad counts.
Yes, it does. Absolutely, it does. So that's why practice squad, sometimes if someone wants to sign, so like say the Broncos want to sign like a Jaguar player to their active roster, the Jaguars might increase their salary to keep them there. Okay, we'll pay you just as much as like the minimum NFL to stay there. That goes on their cap, but at least the guy they don't lose him to the Broncos. So you can negotiate. There's a minimum practice squad. I think it's $200-some thousand. It's like a minimum for first, especially like rookies. But yeah, but they might be able to pluck a guy because they get paid more than a practice squad. It's just, this creates so many problems. And here's another one. Can
you got more?
NFL, oh, there's more. Can NFL team like the NFL team apparently has to waive you? What if you want to leave? Like Daquan White wanted to leave, and the Browns said, no, you can't. You can't go to LSU. They don't have to waive him. Apparently, he had to be waived and not claimed by their team, and then he was allowed to sign the transfer portal. What if a team says, no, you're on our active roster. We're not going to waive you. You can't go there. And then he sues, and that could create problems.
Well, I mean, the team owns you at that point. I wouldn't see how you can maybe do that, but
it can create problems, though.
Yeah, it very, very, very would create problems. I see where you're coming from.
I got 2 more.
Yeah. Do you seriously?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So if anyone has college eligibility, anyone, does that mean someone who's retired from the NFL? If
really?
All the quarterbacks get hurt for Michigan, can Tom Brady come out and play for Michigan one more year? No, seriously, like Kenny? Can Drew Brees go back to Purdue? Does Washington State desperate? Do they call Ryan Leaf up?
Oh, well, they'd have to be really desperate.
Yeah, that'd be really desperate, that one. Does Deshaun Watson go back to Clemson?
Oh, I think Cleveland would like it if he went back to Clemson right now.
I just, all the possibilities. And we have one more.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, what happens if a major college program that's competing for a national championship, that's decimated by injuries like halfway through the year, they try to recruit like a current NFL player on a current roster, like a guy that plays a lot of snaps? Do they contact the NFL team? Maybe it's a team that's like maybe 3-10, or well, it couldn't be that late in the year. Maybe they're 2-8. They're not going anywhere. Do they contact the team and beg him, hey, can you cut him? Because we really need him. Like, we're trying to win a national title. I don't have a tight end that's playable right now for my offense. Everyone's hurt. Can you release him? Because he's a free agent at the end of the year anyway. And then and the agent's going to then beg the other 31 teams not to claim him on waivers. Are we going to have a situation like that where, this is crazy. This creates so many problems.
You are like the chaos creator here today, buddy.
I just trying to think of every scenario. When I saw that story, I just couldn't believe it. I don't think, and it's happening in NBA too. It's not like it's just happening in NFL. It's happening in NBA as well. I mean, there are guys that have played on teams that are now allowed to go back to college. There was a player, I think he played for 2 NBA teams, committed to Kentucky. It's like, okay. So just, I don't think, I think they need to do something about this. The NFL needs to step in and figure this out, because this could create so many problems.
The only thing that I'll add here at the end, Cheese, is I was all for these guys getting paid. And you're making me second guess my opinion 2 or 3 years ago when I was like, yes, these guys need to get paid. This has caused more problems than I ever saw coming.
There should be a NIL salary cap. They need to do that, because some teams can spend more than others, but also so this doesn't, if you can only spend a certain amount of dollars, then you can't spend like $1 million to pluck the safety off this team. You're not going to spend $1 million on a safety. That's just not as important position. So there just needs to be more regulation. It's just, it's just creating so many problems.
Now, I will tell you, when we do our college preview, we're going to do that on Monday, same time, same channel. You can come watch us then. We are going to do the NIL valuations of the, of the 12, the Big 12, because I had that in a graph. I snatched it offline, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I think it'll be interesting to you two. We'll see it. You'll see all the money, all the NIL money that each team in the Big 12 has committed so far this year. It's an interesting chart. We'll take a look at it on Monday when we do our college football preview. All right. Anything else? Are you going to create any more chaos, buddy?
No, that's it for that. The Cubs are beating the Diamondbacks 4-0. Clay Holmes has been amazing pickup for them.
Okay. And he has been an amazing pickup. He's not been as amazing as Tyler Malley for the Braves, but he's been pretty good.
Did the Diamondbacks scored in this series yet? I don't think they have.
No, because they did not score last night. They were shut out last night.
Sorry.
That's okay. Thanks. Depressing me all around. Okay, so we're not going to do the term talk. We're going to skip over that because of time's sake here. We need to do batting cleanup because it's presented by forwardfan.com. Let me grab the graphic here real quick on forwardfan.com. Shoot, I hit the wrong button. I'll get there. Give me just a second. I will put it up here on the screen. Of course, we do this the end of every broadcast here. We always do it. Basically, just kind of a wrap-up of 4 things that we didn't really get a chance to talk about. And that is brought to you by forwardfan.com. Let me take the top off of this here real fast. You get an exclusive 10% discount if you go and you use our code AGO10 when you go to forwardfan.com. Forwardfan.com is real simple. You can buy tickets to the Super Bowl. You can buy tickets to the World Series. If you believe in your team, go to forwardfan.com. Click on the link to your team, and then it will tell you exactly how much those tickets are. And because you are a loyal listener, or maybe even a first-time listener here at the Lights Out Sports Podcast, you take that code AGO10, you will get 10% more off of your purchase. Okay. A few things that we need to grab to here really quickly. Let's do the strength of schedule. And while I'm getting ready to pull up this graphic, Cheese, do you believe in the strength of schedule? Do you think that makes a big difference, especially in these last 30 or so games from here out?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's bigger now than it has been all year because a lot of the bad teams have sold. They traded their veterans, so they're not as good. And a lot of the teams that are good got better at the deadline. So I think it's really, really important.
Now, it depends on, which spot you're looking at here. The Reds have just a terrible thing because they've got to do Brewers, Dodgers, Braves. So that's just a murderer's row kind of deal. Your Cubs have a pretty hard schedule, too. I don't agree with this number 11 for your Cubs, actually. I was looking at it. They have harder than that. Rough, yes, they have a pretty rough schedule as well. But just to take a couple seconds and take a look at this, you've got the Diamondbacks with a pretty easy schedule at 17, still in the playoffs. The Yankees at 23rd, relatively easy as far as that goes with the playoffs. So are the Chicago White Sox. The Dodgers, they shouldn't be anywhere near the bottom of this list, but they are. And then look at the last team. We said
play the Rockies a lot.
right. They do actually.
Okay.
We said the Mariners could come back and win this thing before it's all said and done. And look who has the easiest remaining strength of schedule. It is the Seattle Mariners. So I think it's going to be an interesting last few weeks of the season for that reason too. Go ahead, buddy.
Cleveland's only 2.5 out of the White Sox, and they were second to last on that list. Reds, it's not going to get any easier. Yeah, the Brewers are 10, Cubs 11. Surprise. I thought both would be higher. They play each other 7 times. So that's depending. Whoever does, if one team wins at least 5 of those, then that schedule gets easier. The schedule will get easier if you play well against good teams. It all of a sudden, doesn't become hard. But yeah, I think it's really important. And I just know the Cubs have 7 with the Brewers, and they have the Braves after that, and then they finish at Boston. So that could be really important for Boston and Chicago, those last 3 games.
Yeah. So, but at the same point, Cheese, before we move on to the next thing here, you want to, at least for me, I want to be able to play those teams at the end of the season. After I've made my trade deadline moves and I think my team's a little bit better than it was at the beginning of the season. And then you just tell your players, hey, if you beat this team, right, if the Cubs beat the Brewers 5 of the 7 times, then now you've got a real shot at winning this division. Basically tell the players it's in your hands. Go out there and win games and we'll be just fine, right?
Yeah. I mean, a schedule, it's super important, but if you beat the good teams, if you win, I mean, you can erase that. You can flip it. Absolutely.
All right. The second thing of the 4 here from the account of Arizona Diamondbacks stats and info on X, there are 4 members of the 20 club in Major League Baseball history. Only 4. Schulte, Mays, Granderson, Rollins. Those are the 4. Schulte, Mays, Granderson, Robinson. 4 big names in the industry. And what we mean by 2020, which 4 20s for those of you who were a little slow with me here tonight. So 20 home runs, 20 doubles, 20 stolen bases, and 20 triples in a single season. Those 4 guys that I mentioned before have done it. Corbin Carroll, ladies and gentlemen, has 30 games left in the season, and he's got a shot. He's got 18 home runs, 28 doubles. The doubles are already done. 16 triples. He's only 4 away, obviously, and 20 stolen bases. So half of it's done, Cheese. What kind of an accomplishment would it be for Corbin Carroll to join that 2020 club?
It's pretty incredible. You know, I've talked about Corbin Carroll a lot. He's an amazing player. Not talked about enough. I think triples, he's probably right on pace. That's the one that'll be tough. He'll hit 2 more homers. But imagine if he didn't have that slump. What was it, like June, maybe? July, June, July. He had a slump. If he didn't have that slump, he'd probably already have it. But he's been a triple machine since he came into the league. It's pretty amazing accomplishment to be able to do it. 5th ever. So I hope he does do it.
All right, let's pull up this picture real fast as we get to our 3rd of 4. There it is. Let me take the top off like we always say here. So Aroldis Chapman, 10th 30-plus save season. He joins the following people. It's a pretty exclusive list, too. So he got his 30th save on Monday night. He and Lee Smith each have 30 saves. Trevor Hoffman has 14. And Mariano Rivera has 15. That's it. Chapman comes in there and joins that list with Rivera, Hoffman, and Lee Smith. Talk to me about this list that Chapman joins, Cheese.
Surprised Francisco Rodriguez isn't on there. That really surprises me. I think it's pretty incredible. I don't think there's any other reliever right now in baseball. Mason Miller's still pretty young, but that is close to this. It's pretty incredible. It's hard nowadays. A lot of relievers just don't hold up because they throw so hard. They don't hold up into the 30s. A lot of them. They're just
Chapman
done.
throws hard.
Chapman throws hard. So I think it's pretty incredible. And he's bounced around to a lot of teams too. He's had to prove it again. He had to go back to the Pirates to prove it, the Royals. So he's, I think it's pretty incredible.
And, you were just talking about that. So Lee Smith threw pretty hard. Trevor Hoffman did not throw hard. Mariano Rivera had that cutter, so I wouldn't really say he threw hard. So Chapman's probably the hardest thrower on this list.
Yeah, he is. I never watched Lee Smith, but yeah, he is. And most closers throw really hard. But you know that sometimes closers, they get to 29, 30, and their velocity goes down or they just lose it. It's bullpen is just so, you never know from the next year. There was, God, I can't remember his name. There was some guy, he was, I think, on the Phillies, and he came out and he was just dominant as a closer. They ended up trading because they were rebuilding the Astros, and he was terrible after that. Like, he never did good again. I cannot remember that guy's name, but he looked like the next big thing. He looked like the next Craig Kimbrell. Of course, Kimbrell fell off too.
Gagne fell off. I mean, yeah. A lot of these guys.
Oh, and no, I'm also surprised. Who's the guy? He's on the Tigers. Used to be on the Red Sox and the Dodgers.
Kenley Jansen.
Kenley Jansen on the Braves too. Yeah, surprised he's not on there.
I believe if he gets it this year, he will also join.
Okay,
we could look that up real quick if you really wanted to. But it's
okay.
We got one more thing here in the batting cleanup presented by ForwardFan.com, and it's this: days since their team last hit a regular season grand slam.
Okay.
You know, Chicago was only 2 days because they hit 2 of them just the other night. So it's only been 2 days for the Chicago Cubs.
Yep.
But there are 4 teams that have gone over 100 days since they last hit a regular season grand slam. Listen to these teams.
Okay.
The St. Louis Cardinals have gone 142 games.
Okay.
The New York Yankees have gone 337 games.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, I was shocked with that one. The Texas Rangers have gone 350 games. And maybe not much of a surprise, we talked about this earlier, the Milwaukee Brewers have gone 391 games, almost 400 games without hitting a regular season grand slam.
That's pretty crazy because the Yankees and Brewers are good every year. Texas won a World Series a few years back. So that's surprising. That's wow.
Yeah, Jonathan throws another name up, Mitch Williams, kind of a blast from the past, was with the Phillies a lot. And he even says, I'm sorry, I didn't read the second part, but he was a Phillies reliever, absolutely.
Oh, someone just got hit in the head for the Diamondbacks. Lawler got hit in the head with a pitch. He's down.
And that guy has gotten more injuries than anyone else around on that team. So I hope he's okay. I'll have to watch it here in a little bit.
It was Palencia who throws 100. I don't know if it was 100, but one of the worst people could possibly be to hit you in the head. Oh, man.
I hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay.
Nothing that any of us want to see is, a player getting taken out like that. So,
okay, he's standing up, but I'm sure they're going to take him out, give him a concussion test. But anyway,
sure. I'm sure they are too. All right, buddy. So that's the show. You got anything that you'd like to add to the end?
No, just we got the Content Creator Fantasy Draft this Sunday. Is it 6 Eastern? I believe 3 Pacific.
Well,
anyway,
we'll shoot a tweet out.
And then we have Monday. We have our college football special preview where we're going to pick for the 4 major conferences. We'll pick winners. We'll pick sleepers. We'll do college playoff. We'll pick a Heisman. Who do we think is win the Heisman? All of that. We didn't do so well with the Heisman pick last year, but we're going to do better this year. We promise.
Okay.
So, yes. And I get it. I have a feeling we're going to pick different teams to win the national title. The team I'm going to pick, I don't think you're going to pick. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's good when we get different teams.
It'll be interesting. It is good when we get different teams. So we will do all of that. So Sunday's the draft. Monday is the college football. And, of course, next Tuesday, the Lights Out Sports Podcast right here. And we may have another special guest. I haven't confirmed it as of yet. Give me 2 seconds to take a look at my messages. I would like to be able to confirm it right now if I could.
And we have an NFL special coming as well the week after. We'll talk about what that date will be. We'll do NFL predictions, over-unders, all of that. And I found the over-unders from last year. We will go over how we did. So I have those results from last year's over-unders. So.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you have those results. I can't wait to see how terrible I
have
did.
all our results. Hey, we both picked Denver to win the division, so that's good. We did not pick the Chiefs like all the people were picking last year. We had Denver. We got that right.
All right. Well, at least we're one for one of many.
Neither of us had Seattle in the postseason. I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely. All right. We said we were trying to keep it under 2 hours. We kept it under 2.5 hours.
There you go.
Yay. Okay. Just so much to get to. We love doing this show. We love doing it for all of you guys. Hopefully you guys love the show that we do for you as well. We try really, really hard, and we work at this a lot. So Cheese has his own channel. Where is that at, buddy?
It's Football with Cheese right there. On X, it's just Football Cheese. You can't have it that long. So YouTube Football with Cheese. So, yeah, and I cover all 32 teams on the channel. So, yeah, make sure you check it out. Do a lot of draft stuff as well.
Trying to be positive, but make sure you check out his rant on the uniforms. That was just put out. I put it up on RX as well. So the Sports Pulpit this week, we'll be doing a lot of stuff. Ketel Marte, the Houston Astros, the Los Angeles Dodgers, one I probably won't get to until next week. and then the solution that I would have for under 500 teams not making the playoffs in Major League Baseball. We'll do all of those here within the next 7 to 10 days or so on the Sports Pulpit as well. All right, buddy. Anything else you want to add to the end?
Nope. We're
Nope.
good.
All right. Yes, we are. We are good, and all of you are good for being with us, and we appreciate it. Thank you all very much. And as we always say, at the very end of this show, the only thing that's fair in life is a baseball hit between the third and first base lines. Good evening, everyone.